What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. It's finished here. Tottenham 2, Manchester United 2. Wow, just got to get our breath there for a second. Like, what a crazy ending to that game, which we'll get onto a bit. Question marks from a lot of people raised when Thomas Frank named his lineup with Richarlison and Kolo Muani playing in the front line, with Richarlison on the left, with Muani up top, interchanging throughout. Did you have any problems with the starting lineup when it was first called?
I was surprised with Richarlison at left and not Odegaard, but I wanted to see Richarlison at the left if he was there, and he was. I thought Muani, obviously we don't know what impact he would have had with this head injury that he had. I thought he would have been more involved. But there was just a lack of creative or drive in that front line, wasn't there?
You know what is, like, I think, like, you got to say it was a mistake not to start Odegaard. You know, he's been...
Yeah, I can go with that.
He's been last 3 games, he's been getting better and better and better. You saw the massive impact he had when he came on at half-time as well. I just don't get that decision not to start Odegaard today.
Yeah, that's a strange one. Granted, that is a strange one. But... it happened. He came on. I think we're looking at it the other way. He came on. He did make a huge impact, and obviously a lot of people have said, "What's he doing when he does start?" He came on. He did make an impact. He had a good spell when he came on, and I think it's just highlighted that during this international break, Thomas Frank has to have a look at that front line and know that he's got what he's got till January. God knows what with Solanke, and find a way to get them moving. And I think number one left back right now is Wilson Odegaard, who rightfully so.
100%. We've been crying out all season for someone to produce on that left-hand side for us, and we finally find something that seems to be working. And then he leaves him out and puts Richarlison out there. You know, Muani drifting out there, and Richarlison was just so frustrating today, man. Just so frustrating. I know he kind of gets the flick at the end to get us 2-1 up, but that was all Odegaard. Yeah, all Odegaard. And the first goal as well comes from Wilson Odegaard finding destiny out on that left-hand side with some great dribbling as well. So, look, if we cast our mind back to the first half, I mean, I was delighted with the way Spurs started the game. We started the game on the front foot. We had energy. We were moving the ball quickly. Brennan Johnson looked dangerous out on that right-hand side. Javi was finding those pockets of spaces and being aggressive and coming back to defend. And it kind of only lasted about 20 minutes, didn't it? And then Man United kind of took control.
Yep, most certainly. We did start off bright through, and that's all we could have asked for, wasn't it? After what we saw with Chelsea last week in the Premier League, we did come out, and obviously with that early goalkeeper mistake, had a corner. The corners were poor, but we did look like we were going to be on the front foot for most of that half, and then Man U just turned the screw a bit, and they took over that. It was a very 50-50 first half, wasn't it? But they got... when it was all important, they got the goal. Yeah,
and you could kind of tell the goal was coming at the time that it did come. I felt like at that point Man United had taken control. But when the goal comes, I thought it was just such a silly goal to give away, man. Like, defenders just letting Mbeumo have a free roam of our box. Vicario kind of rooted and didn't make a move. He kind of like took the knee, didn't he? Like, that's all he did. He dropped down to his knee, and Mbeumo pretty much had just an open goal, it seemed like, to head into. Like, Vicario's got to be doing a lot more from that situation. The defenders have got to be doing a lot more to close down Mbeumo, and it's just such a silly and sloppy goal to give away. And it's just so frustrating, because if we end that half at 0-0, I thought, look, for the last 20 minutes of the first half, Man United were the better team. But in the second half, for the majority of it, for the opening half an hour, 35 minutes of that second half, it was all Tottenham. Man United didn't have even a shot on goal, never mind off target, no matter what. United did not threaten us for the majority of that second half, and it looked like if anyone was going to get a goal in that second half, it was going to be Tottenham.
It did. It really, really did. And
so I actually go as far as to say, if that goal doesn't go in the first half, I think we win that game.
Yeah, I can go with that. It's... second half, we did come out. Then they had that little moment, didn't they? They had that little moment where they looked a little bit dangerous. Then the subs came on. Destiny, you see instantly. He got into good positions. His crossing had let him down, but immediately offers balance, doesn't he? And that made it more stressful. Spence went back to right and did very well when he actually stayed at the right back. And those subs made an impact. But when we're showing such a distinct lack of quality or ruthless finishers, what are we going to expect? We need to find the right combination till January. We need to find the right way forward, and then let Frank get the players in he needs in January. And a striker has to be one of them, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Because look, Moani didn't do much when he was on the pitch today. Richarlison was pretty frustrating. But look, however frustrating he was, you've got to give him credit because he was the one that got us in the lead late on.
Yep.
And credit where's credit's due to Richarlison. And, you know, an outpouring of emotion from him when he scored. I think he dropped down to his knees crying and everything like that. But the changes for Thomas Frank in that second half, I think, really went some way to getting us back into the game and into the lead. You know, Destiny Udogie and Wilson Odebear down that left-hand side having a real positive impact in that game. And I think Destiny has to be playing most weeks out on the left. And I think Odebear has to be playing most weeks now on the left wing because they really were our best players when they were on the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, I just saying... the striker is a necessity. We were all saying, do you know what? We were all saying in the window that we needed that left winger. That left winger was a massive hole that we didn't get. I actually think another left back has become more important. And we need someone to either challenge Destiny or be better than Destiny to give Destiny a push, because for the balance of the squad, as soon as we've got a left footer at left back, we look night and day difference. So it's funny how it develops in the season. You can see what you need. We can see all season we struggle with goals from our strikers. Richarlison's popped up with a few. Moani hasn't hit one. Solanke hasn't been available. Tell has popped up with 2 now. But it's not good enough. It's not ruthless enough. But the left wing, the left back position, we look night and day a better team the second Destiny Udogie is on the pitch, just for balance. Whether he has a great performance or not, like we said, his crossing, he got in some great positions, but his final ball let him down. But just for that balance and going forward and not having to go down the right constantly, it's a huge difference. So Wilson Odebear and Destiny Udogie are actually building up a nice relationship, aren't they?
Very nice relationship. Very nice. And they've got to be the left-hand side, our go-to left-hand side now. They have to.
Yep.
Like I said before, I just didn't understand the decision. I get it with Udogie because he's coming back from injury and whatever. But Wilson Odebear, there is just no reason not to start him today.
Agreed.
No reason whatsoever. And
Agreed.
I thought Thomas Frank maybe just overthought it a little bit and persisted with Richarlison, who's not on good form right now. And it hurt us. It did hurt us. So big up to Wilson and Destiny when they came on. And also big up to Matisse Tell. You know, Matisse Tell has been out in the dark for a number of weeks now. The last minutes he got before this was at Newcastle in the Cup, 30 minutes, 1 minute away at Everton. You know, on the bench for Chelsea, didn't come on. Obviously, he can't play in Europe, so he didn't play in that game. Comes on with 12 minutes to go. Bang, straight. What a high-quality goal as well. Odebear found him in the box. He swivels away from his man and smashes it into the back of the net. So,
let's put it this way. He did, in that moment, what none of our strikers had done the whole game.
Yeah.
So, Odebear did very, very well getting the ball into him, which we were poor in doing in the first half and second half until he was on. And then he's taken that ball on the turn and just lashed it in. Obviously, he got the deflection, but he had to make that opportunity himself. He had to make that movement himself. And he took that insanely well. And like you said, it just shows when we attacked and there was movement, imaginative movement, we got our rewards. But we were so static for most of the time because there is no creativity. Xavi was doing his bits, wasn't he? But there's no real end product, and that's the issue where we are right now. It's the attacking ideas and intent, and that goal getter, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it's just so gutting after grabbing yourself back in the game, getting that equaliser, going ahead. You know, the first goal come on the 84th minute, the other one comes in 91st minute, and to throw that away in the manner that we did with that corner, you know, Lamens comes up and you're thinking just win that header, we can go up the other end and get that third. But De Ligt gets the run on our defence, free header, Vicario kind of gets it, but it's just too late and he palms it into the back of the net, and it's just so frustrating because the 2 goals that we conceded today were so avoidable. Really were so avoidable, and that's the most gutting thing about it. And look, it wasn't pretty from Spurs for the majority of the game, but to fight back and to get ourselves ahead like we did with the changes that Thomas Frank made to swing it into our favour, to throw away like that is just absolutely heartbreaking, man. It really is, because I thought we did enough to win that game.
It did. I mean, I literally thought we got the second goal, game over. We've come back and done it. Great to see the fight from the team to do it, not just sit on the 1 point and they went for it. But if you're looking at it from set pieces wide, from set pieces, the one Manchester United player you don't want running freely for an aerial ball is probably Matthias de Ligt. And the one person we let get away was that man. I mean, fair play Amir for hoisting the goalie forward, because I don't think many teams do that in a game of this magnitude, especially with how well they're doing. But they rolled the dice and they got lucky, didn't they?
Yeah. You know, the stats read Spurs led the possession 55% to 45. Spurs led the XG 0.95 to 0.62. Spurs led the shots 10 to 5. Spurs led the shots on target 4 to 2. Spurs led the big chances as well 3 to 2. So as much as it, you know, a lot of people are not happy with the performance that Spurs put in, I thought, you know, by and large, I know Man United had periods where they were better than us, particularly in the first half, in the second half of the first half of those 20-25 minutes. But I genuinely believe Spurs were marginally the better side today.
Yeah. Well, not only marginally, but those stats show it. And for everyone doubting him, he's come top in all the attacking metrics. If that doesn't show how badly, if you look at it via past managers. Ange had a Madison, a Solanke, a Sonny, a Kulu, and managers before that had a Sonny and Kane. We always had a goal scorer or goal scorers that will chip in with goals. And at the moment, Thomas Frank simply does not have that available. He has Brennan Johnson, who had a goal ruled out for offside. He has Richarlison, who blows very hot and cold, and never anything in between. And he's got Mawani, who hasn't had a goal. So you look at it, and Matisse Tell. So you compare that to the kind of goal-getters previous managers have, not just Ange, all the managers, going back to Poch, even back to when we had Sheringham and Berbatov and whatever, there's always been prolific goal scorers at Tottenham Hotspur. We don't have at the moment. So to come out with all the top of the metrics, yes, it's very, very frustrating to have a win snatched away from that, but we're 6 minutes away from a defeat, weren't we?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And it's just gutting, man. It really is gutting to concede it like we did, the manner of the 2 goals that we did concede. So, what did you make of Javi Simmons today? Because I know you were quite impressed with him at times, but I felt like first half he was putting himself about a bit and finding a lot of space and some nice disguised passes and stuff, but still didn't really hurt Man United from the offensive actions. And I felt like as the game wore on, he kind of diminished in influence a little bit.
Yeah, he did. And you know what? When he got taken off, I was a little bit disappointed because I thought he might be the bright spark to do it. But obviously, Frank's got it right. We're doing what he did. He's getting more and more confident, isn't he? He is you can see he's more comfortable on the ball. He wants the ball more. He's doing well. But it's just, again, that final ball that he needs to find or take on a shot yourself. But again, it goes back to movement, lack of creativity, lack of killer instinct for him to find people. But I think if we look back at the Chelsea game and other games where Everton, like, he really hardly had an impact, he's starting to have an impact and feel his way into the league. And they're positive steps forward from him. But he did, like, I agree with you, he did peter out, didn't he, compared to the first half performance?
Yeah. He needs more movement around him. I think that's clear for everyone to see. And, you know, for everyone talking about Spurs' attacking intent and, you know, attacking patterns of play, if we had a striker that can make it stick and wouldn't lose the ball every time he got it, you might see a bit more attacking intent and more patterns of play and more chances made for Tottenham Hotspur. Because I kept mentioning it during the watch along, like Richarlison, he's just such a frustrating player to watch. And like I said, I'll give him credit where it's due for getting that goal and, you know, for getting that slight touch in it from Wilson Odebear's brilliant shot. But he's got to be doing more from open play, man. He's got to be doing a lot more.
And you know what? We could have broken a few times and he either overplays a pass or underplays a pass. He's always likely to come up with a goal like he did today. But if he's not scoring, he doesn't really bring anything in, does he? Because he just loses the ball so often. I'm sure his boot sponsors are bouncy castles because literally his first touch is woeful. But he chipped in with the goal, but he cannot do it regularly enough. And at the left, he started off okay, but then he moved more central, didn't he, to help Mawani. And then in the second half, apart from the goal, I think his passing was very, very sloppy, but he's got us back into the game.
Yeah. We all talk about Thomas Frank and his development of wingers, particularly.
Yep.
Do you feel like we're starting to see that now at Tottenham? Because everyone's been going all season, where's Thomas Frank's development of the wingers? And we all know that takes time, and it's a bit of a stupid comment to make. But in this early stage, we're already seeing that kind of Thomas Frank being able to develop the wingers, where we're seeing better performance from Brendan Johnson. We're seeing Wilson Odegaard play a lot better than we've ever seen him play in the past. So do you think we're starting to see that? I
do think we're starting to see it. Definitely more so from Odegaard. Odegaard, like we saw it today. One of the he's done it in a few games where he gets the ball, he can drive and take on his man, but again, then his decision making in his final ball has been his downfall. Whereas you saw in this half of football, he added that today. Got a goal obviously on Tuesday, so you can see the development that he's putting into him, and you can see, like we said in the first half, I've never seen Johnson cross with his left foot. That was a sensation.
On the money as well.
That was again that was food and bread and water to Richarlison to get on those kind of headers. That's what he's made his name of. And you can see it from Wilson Odegaard. You can see the players developing. They've just got to find the right system. They've got to find the right, like we've been saying, answers up top. But slowly, and the people that are trying to write Frank off is just insane. But hopefully they will see shoots of improvement coming from certain players. And we'll get better and better as the season goes on, and once he's got a window under him. Yeah,
look, the reality is, though, another more points dropped at home today. Nearly got the 3 points, but, just a minute. That goal comes at literally the worst time for us. Absolutely heart-wrenching, absolutely gutting. But it is more drop points at home. You got to say, another 2 points dropped today. We're sitting 17th in the home form table. 5 points picked up from 6 games at home this season. We know it's not good enough, but I think as home performances go that we've seen this season, you look at Bournemouth, you look at Wolves, you look at who else we played at home, Villa. Like, this was probably one of the best of the lot, even though it wasn't an unbelievable performance today. In the league, it's probably one of the better ones.
Yeah, without a doubt. Look, things you got to look at is 1-0 down, 4 minutes to go, 6 minutes to go. Sorry, without stoppage time. Not only did we go get that goal, they didn't want to sit on their laurels. They went and got that second goal. And like you said, it was a better performance. See, this is the thing. Beforehand, Chelsea, it was like, oh my God, that's a dreadful performance. The style of football's boring. Oh my God, I want to see more attacking football. Then you get to see more attacking football. We take the lead. We give a stupid goal away for the equaliser, and now it's complaining about something else. It's madness.
Yeah, look, I think takeaway from here, I think Frank got it wrong in a sense with the lineup that he chose today with certain players, in my opinion. I think once he brought those players on, it looked a lot better. We grabbed ourselves back in the game. Frank will obviously learn from it and make adjustments from it, as he's been doing all season, because, and I mean, Frank, we're all saying don't start Bentancur and Paulinho at home in the middle of the park. He didn't do that today, and it did look a little bit better, albeit, do you think that Bentancur might be the better option for us in the middle of the park when trying to progress the ball through the middle? Because I know Paulinho did a bit of good work today, and he was, very aggressive in the middle of the park. But which one do you think is the best to persist with?
I think it's going to really be heavily dependent on the opponent, isn't it? But I think, like I said, Paulinho does what he did today: tackles, snuffing out danger. Some of his passing, like you said, in the first half was better than normal, but Bentancur, if you want it for breaking the lines and being quicker to get the ball to the front line, then you'd say it's Bentancur, wouldn't you?
Yeah. But look, it was okay. It was okay in parts today. We really should have been taking home 3 points, in my opinion. I keep saying it, but just gutting, heartbreaking. It feels like a loss, to be honest, now at the end of this game where we drew 2-2 against Manchester United, but we keep that undefeated run going against Manchester United since 2022. They thought they'd got all 3 points, going into the last 10 minutes. They're 1-0 up, we go 2-1 up, we let it slip. It was just a mad last 5 minutes of this game. Absolutely crazy. But we move on. We move on.
This is a team that's just beaten Liverpool at Anfield as well.
And they're on very good form, Manchester United. They're on very good form. And we should have won the game.
Yep.
We should have won the game, and it's just gutting that we didn't. But we move on. No small matter of the North London derby next at the Emirates. We'll see how they get on today. But yeah,
away the lads. Go on, Sunderland.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, the Sunderland. But we leave it there, guys. Spurs have drawn 2-2. Let us know your thoughts of the game in the comment section below, and we'll move on to the fan show. And first up, we are going to go to Nate the Great. Let's see what he has to say. Mr.
What's going
Nate,
on, guys?
How you doing, bro?
Not doing too bad. Yeah, I don't even. It's tough, you know. It's tough. Would have loved to win.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where, like, I guarantee Man United fans are feeling a lot better because they got the late goal to draw it.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those things where it's like, if it was the other way around, we'd feel a lot better. But I mean, if you asked me at like the 55th minute mark or the 60th minute mark, I would have taken a draw. And I think a draw is a fair reflection of this game. I actually took notes because I was going mad. I can't lie. The first half was abysmal. And I think that's down to Thomas Frank's lineup selection. The whole Colomwani Richie thing, I don't think that works at all. No creativity, no progression, no wing play, no urgency, playing all those things. But in the second half, flipped on a switch completely. Looked a lot better, a lot more urgency in the build-up. Players linking up, and Wilson Odebear, man, proper player. But like I said, I think this game mainly just embodies what this whole Thomas Frank tenure has been so far. Just takes time. Took us a lot of time to build into the game. We saw it in the second half was better, but it's frustrating to get that draw because it's just tough. It hurts, but I mean, United, like you guys said, like United's been moving a lot better. So
yeah, I felt like I know you're saying like a draw is probably a fair reflection on the game, and I thought maybe we slightly edged it because I thought second half we were the better team. First half as well, we came out the traps, I thought, pretty well for the opening 15, 20 minutes until Man United took control. Do you feel like if that goal doesn't go in first half, we win the game? Because I felt exactly that, and it's such two poor goals to give away, aren't they?
Like, I hear that because the thing is with that, though, I don't feel like either team really took the game. Like,
yeah, 100%.
I think we showed a bit more, and I think the stats show that too. We had like a little bit better XG, more chances created, but I don't think either team really like. I could see arguments for both sides. If like United fans would say that like, oh, I think we deserve to win, I could kind of see that. But like if Spurs fans are saying, I could see that too. Like I don't think either team really took the game, and that's why I think I say that a draw is a fair result. But like, yeah, I mean that first goal conceded, it's just stupid. And like if that goal never went in, then yeah, I think we would have won the game. But that's like the part where you have to take your chances because Romero had a shot there, didn't go in. I think there was another opportunity there for Richie where like it just went over his head, didn't take that opportunity. United took their chances, and that's a skill in itself, is taking your chances, which we didn't do.
Yeah.
Nate, quick question. You mentioned about the lineup. What do you reckon the answer is until January as the ideal front three to get this team firing? Because obviously there seems to be, we can bring it forward, but then the lack of movement, the lack of creativity. So what would be your, let's say, front four with a number 10 as well?
Well, for me, it's more so just the emphasis on the wings. So it's got to be Odebear and Udogie. Yeah. Like, we've seen it every single game that they've played together. It's been our best performances. Odebear and Udogie are the keys. So Odebear is the left wing. And then on the right, ideally, you want Kudus. And then up top, even though Colomwani didn't have the best game, I'd still persist with him because I still think he offers more. And I think it was more so down to just him playing alongside of a Richie, more so than like it down to just him being not on it today. And mind you, didn't have the training camp. He is still coming back to fitness. He's going to take time as well. But yeah, I'd go Odebear, Muani, Kudus, and then I'd still persist with Xavi in the 10. But it's the players around those players that need to be important. Like the double pivot is super important when it comes to how we want to play. Like it's got to be either a Bentancur or like a Sarr or a Paulinho and a Sarr. It's got to be one of those two. But yeah, I'd persist with Odebear, Muani, and Kudus.
I can't for the life of me, Nate, understand why Odegaard didn't start in this game and why he went for this kind of Richarlison Mawani thing up top. Like, Odegaard has been getting better and better each and every game he's starting. He proved as well Thomas Frank wrong in his starting selection when he came on off the bench today. He was brilliant. Like, why can you understand for the life of you why Odegaard did not start in this game?
The only thing I could think of is rotation due to Champions League. That's the only thing. And only Thomas Frank would know that. That's the only thing I could think of. But besides that, I have no clue. That's why I'm baffled by Thomas Frank that he made this decision, because Odegaard has looked good primarily almost the entire season. Like, he's been our best left winger, and he's starting to make me think that, like, do we even really need to sign a top left winger? Maybe we should prioritize our spending in other areas of urgency, maybe like a better striker, or maybe more competition for Kudus, so when Kudus is injured, we have better quality over there. But like, Odegaard has been looking good, and I don't want to block his pathway. I don't know why Frank didn't do it. I think the only thing I could think of is just simply rotation, to be honest. It's just baffling to me.
Is there anything that you take away from this game that gives you confidence that we can move on and, you know, first of all, improve that home form, because still more drop points at home today, another 2 points dropped. Anything that you can take from this game, you know, that gives you a bit of comfort that Spurs going in the right direction?
The big thing for me is Wilson Odegaard. I think he's our lifeline. When Kudus is fit, if you have both wings firing, it's going to create so much space and chaos for the opponent. So it's Wilson Odegaard and Udogie. I think out of everything that Thomas Frank has done, the things that we know is Paulinho and Bentancur is very good away from home when we have to go to tough grounds and where the teams are going to come onto us a lot. Wilson Odegaard and Udogie, that works, and Mohamed Kudus works on the right. Those are the things that work for Thomas Frank. Build off of that. So that's the big thing. And then also, I'm just going to throw this in. Bro, Richarlison, he's got to stop taking off his shirt. Like, honestly, don't stop taking off your shirt. Because the same thing happened a couple years ago against Liverpool when he took off his shirt, and next thing you know, we got embarrassed. So, Richarlison, stop taking off your shirt. That's another thing. But no, main thing, all jokes aside, Wilson Odegaard is a big positive, and that's where we have to keep building off of from there.
I'm seeing a lot of criticism come in for Vicario for both goals that we conceded. Do you put them both down on him?
Both goals? Nah, because for the first goal, there was a whole bunch of chaos there. I think the team was just sloppy in their defending in the box. Like, the ball is bouncing around there for a lot of the time. I don't think that is down to Vicario. And then the second goal, why was De Ligt unmarked in the box? And it's against 10 men. That's inexcusable. If it was 11v11, maybe, but it's 10 men. So there's no reason why any man should be unmarked. So no, I don't blame Vicario. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, agreed. All right, Nate, always a pleasure to speak to you, my friend.
See you soon, Nate.
Thank you guys so much.
Hopefully next time it's going to be after 3 points in the North London derby, my friend.
I hope and I pray.
It's away, Nate, so we can have a bit more faith with our away record.
100%.
Big up, Nate.
All right, take care, guys.
It's away, but it's at the Emirates.
I'm still going to be mate, I'm still going to be positive. I'm still going to be positive.
Yeah. Let's go to our next caller, Stephen.
Big up, Stephen, brother.
Stephen, how's it going, mate? 2-2 today. 2 points lost today, isn't it?
Yeah. I think we all would have taken that, wouldn't we, at the start of the day, considering just didn't look like we were going to create much in the first 85 minutes. But I have to say, I know Matistel gets a lot of criticism, but for him to come on when he hasn't had much game time recently and score a goal like that was just absolutely fantastic. I have to say, Odegaard was brilliant as well when he came on. But I think going to what you said about why he didn't start, I think it is just mainly rotation because we've got so many injuries at the moment. I think Frank just has to manage the game time as much as possible, really. So that's the only reason I think he did start with Odegaard today and he started with Richarlison on the left. So
Richarlison hasn't started the last couple of games, but surely you got to pick a team that is going to hurt the opposition most. I mean, Odegaard, he's not like he's starting every single game, is it? It's not like he's played too much football.
Didn't he not play the full 90 the other night?
No, he did, but I'm saying in the last five or six games, I don't think he started every single one of those. It's not like we're overplaying him, in my opinion.
No, maybe not. I don't. Maybe you're right, but I just think obviously what we saw last season, these players with all the injuries had to play so many games consecutively, and we've got a massive period coming up now. Um, Christmas coming up after the international break. It's like game after game after game, isn't it? So I think he's just trying to manage their minutes as best as possible. But yeah, I don't know. Like you say, only Thomas Frank knows what he wants to do and how he's going to do it. So I think we're just guessing now. So, but yeah, do you know what? I'll take a point after today because for the most part I wasn't very impressed again. But yeah,
Did you watch the full 90 this time?
What's that?
Did you watch the full 90 this time? You didn't have to turn
Yeah,
off?
I did. Yeah. I'm glad I did because obviously I would have missed the last sort of.
Yeah, you would have.
But that was. Do you know what? I was proud of the team to do that, but obviously we let a sloppy goal go in. But I don't really blame Macario because he saved us so many times this season already. So, but yeah, I mean, what are you guys thinking of how we're going so far?
Do you know what? Just for there's a player I want to talk about actually because I want to talk about Pape Matar. The reason I want to talk about him, obviously, when we're playing Paulinho and Bentancur for a while, and Sarr was our best midfielder to start the season, and everyone was saying, why don't we see Sarr? Why don't we see Sarr? Why don't we see Sarr? There's quite a few. Sarr, one of his things that he's known for is getting the ball and driving forward and using his energy to bring us forward. And I think you and me must have said 4, 5, 6 times in commentary, why isn't Sarr driving in? So again, you look at it, Pape Matar, in the games that he's played, and we've wanted him in, I've wanted him in, he hasn't done what he was doing at the beginning of the season, has he?
No, I mean, I thought the other night he was good. All right, it's Copenhagen, but I thought he was really good the other night. I was very impressed with him. But yeah, he just looked a bit lost today, I think. Like you say, he didn't really run forward with it. From sort of trying to, we thought about running forward. And then sort of turn sort of backwards again. But I mean, I want to go to Xavi Simons as well. I mean, the amount of times that I was watching and Xavi Simons was running with the ball and then he had to slow down because there was just no one sort of in support of him or things like that today. So I was a bit like, I felt really sorry for him because he's trying. The last couple of games, I've been really impressed with him. So he's trying, bless him, but there's just no movement up front. And I don't understand why our players aren't helping, especially the strikers. So going back to Pat Matar, yeah, he's like I say, good the other night, but today he just looked non-existent. So I think Bentancur came on and sort of made one like straight away, put a pass straight through the middle, which went up to the front line. So, but yeah, I don't know, guys. I think because of the amount of injuries we've got and things like that, I think Frank's just having to rotate, which is obviously upsetting. I mean, I'm glad our back four's pretty sound. I thought Van der Ven was great again today. That tackle, he just ran back and just slid and made that tackle in the box. I mean, seriously, the guy's just a machine. Absolutely impressed with him. So, just quickly changing it, Ben. You was at the game the other night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your thought of Van der Ven goal live?
Oh, mate. That is something I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. That goal was something special, and I was there when Sonny scored the goal against Burnley as well. It just seemed like, it just seemed like a carbon copy of it. I had a much better view of it this time because I had a crazy seats for the game. But
right.
Yeah, it's just something that you'll remember for the rest of your life, seeing a goal like that in front of your eyes.
Which is why he's so important to keep fit. Is Romero okay?
I hope so. I haven't heard anything about it. He bloody better be okay because we need him in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, but yeah, do you know what? I'll take a point, guys. Today, I really will.
Do you think we deserved the point today? Because I'm seeing a lot a lot of fans saying we didn't deserve a point, or a point was a fair result, or I'm saying maybe we slightly even edged it, and maybe a point in reflection maybe was a fair result, but I thought we slightly edged it.
Based on the first half, I would say no. Based on the second half, where we looked a little bit better, then yes. I think we deserved a point in the second half. First half was just non-existent again. I mean, we didn't have a shot on target to 54th minute?
Is that right? I thought did we not have a shot on target in the first half?
First half.
No, we didn't.
No,
there was one shot on target in the whole game in the first half.
Was there?
Yeah, for them.
I must have been looking away.
No, for them.
Yeah, I must have been looking away. But you know what? Yeah, we'll take a point. And somehow we're third in the league, not playing our best at the moment.
Yeah,
so,
but everyone else has to still play.
Yeah, but I think well, Sunderland are going to beat Arsenal tonight. Don't worry, you can count on that. Sunderland haven't lost at home this season yet, so. But yeah, I think. But wouldn't it be a surprise if we went to the Emirates in a couple of weeks' time and actually won?
Would it not? I'd be very surprised if we did do that. We haven't done it since 2008,
9?
Around about that time, yeah. 2010, I think it was.
That's exactly what it was.
Kabul scored the winner.
Yeah.
Correct.
But yeah, no. Do you know what? I'll take a point today. I'm just gutted that it's international break again because I don't like international breaks now. So
do you know what, Steve? I will say I actually think the international break for us has come at the right time, and the reason I do say that is that now gives 2 weeks with Frank where he's going to have a skeleton squad, and he can spend a lot of time with the coaching team after training, trying to think of tactics to change and revitalise this front line and get them firing. So international breaks sometimes can be a good time, and this may be a good time to sit down, reflect. Who knows? There may be chats with Paratici and everyone for January, so maybe this has come at the right time because Frank will now be getting a complete feeling of what he needs and what he wants. So we shall see, but I think it's come at the right time.
Well, we need to see what sort of how Solanke fares and Kulusevski fares when they come back. Because obviously we haven't seen them yet this season under Thomas Frank. So I'd kind of like to see. I know they're going to take a bit of time to get match fitness up and stuff, and you need to be careful. But I mean, I'd like to see how Solanke fares in the team and Kulu as well, because I think they'll add something to this side. But so we just have to wait and see. But January feels like a long time away. It really does. But I hope, like you said though, Brian, I hope they're going to work on what their targets are, and as soon as that 1st of January comes on, they go out and they get him, because we can't be dilly-dallying over the January transfer window like we did last year. Because I think we signed Kinski and then we didn't sign anybody till
Danso.
January?
And then Tell.
Yeah.
But it was right at the tail end of the window.
But would you give Tell more chance? Because he started against Leeds, scored a goal. He came on today, scored a goal. He's not playing Champions League football.
Where would you put him, Steve?
Would you play him? Well, why not stick him in up front? See what he can do.
I'm open for Tell. I mean, he's grabbing his opportunities at the moment, so that's all you can ask from him right now. So
he's not playing Champions League football either, so it's not like he's. And we haven't got Carabao Cup, so the only chances he's getting is Premier League. So why not start him?
Yeah,
just give him a chance.
I wouldn't start him at the Emirates, but maybe moving forward after that. But look, Steve, thank you for coming on, mate, today.
See you later.
And hopefully after 3 points in the Emirates, we'll get to speak again.
Yeah, definitely. So anyway, thanks for having me on again, guys. All the best, and I'll speak to you soon.
Come on,
you Spurs, mate. Come on, you Spurs. Right. On Solanke for a second, it was worrying comments at the end of Frank's embargo section when he was saying that hopefully we see him before the end of 2025. Hopefully we'll see him in 2025. I'm thinking every international break you're saying, yeah, he'll be fine after the international break. He'll be fine after the international break. Now you're saying, I hope we'll see him in 2025. I mean, this is just nuts what's going on with Solanke, man.
Yeah, I mean, with Solanke, when he got that injury, I said it would be 2 to 3 months, and I got grilled because the club came out and said he'll be back after the first international break. We're going to the third international break where he hasn't touched grass and got onto the pitch and done anything. And you look at it. What I thought was a bit weird is the question was asked, will we see him in 2025? Yeah, I mean, it's like we had the surgery, we're easing him back, he's coming back, and then it becomes, will we see him in 2025? And this international break is key. I mean, I don't see how the international break is over 2 weeks if it's key for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe it's mind games, maybe it's not, maybe there's more to it, who knows? But again, he would be great if we'd had him available this season, who knows?
It's just a very peculiar situation.
Oh, without a doubt.
Very
Without
peculiar.
a doubt. When isn't an injury not peculiar? With it?
All right, let's move on and let's go to David. How you doing, David? I think you're on mute.
What about this?
There we go.
There
I
you
can
go.
hear you now.
This microphone mustn't be working. Hey boys, hey Ben, hey Brian. I haven't seen you before in person, Brian. Ben, I haven't spoken to you since just before the Europa win.
Good to
A
speak.
lot have
spoke to
happened. A lot have happened since then.
Lots happened since, yeah. I did tell you back at, I think we were playing Frankfurt, and I said we're going to win the Europa League, and there was a lot of doubt. I was
I've
confident.
just remembered who you are. You came on after a show. Yeah, I know who you are. I know who you are. Yeah.
It's good to see you back in London there, Brian, too.
Yeah,
Welcome
I'm
back.
missing
Not
Toronto.
there.
I'm missing Toronto and my wife big time, but it's always good to be in WWA. We are Tottenham TV HQ and watching Spurs.
And it's nice to go to an international break, not on the back of a loss.
Another positive, yeah.
That hasn't happened for a while either.
Yeah. Do you think we deserved more out of the game today?
I thought it was a fair. I thought both teams were not great.
Yeah.
And Man United's been playing pretty well this year, and they didn't play too well today. I think I'm actually really surprised about Sesko because he was really good in the Euros, and I kind of wanted him for us, to be honest. And then he hasn't been good all year. I don't know if he's still adjusting to the Premier League. I'm hoping for their sake that that's what it is, because he was fantastic in the Euros. But yeah, he had a couple of chances today, and so I think overall, I thought it was a fair result, to be honest. An unfortunate result, but a fair result, probably.
It's a good point from David, actually. We were going on about Odegaard being out. It may have been the wrong move, or was the wrong move. Frank should have done something different there and played Odegaard. But do you reckon we might have been surprised, and the United fans would have been surprised not to see Sesko? Because that
Potentially.
front three's been firing, haven't they?
It is, but it is what he did away at Anfield as well. He
Okay.
dropped Sesko to the bench and he went with Ahmad, Mbuemo and Cunha up front, and obviously they won that game.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of what they're doing in the big away games now.
There we go.
And Cunha didn't do much today.
No, I thought we kept him fairly quiet, to be honest. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right. I mean, it all kind of hinged, didn't it, on that Mickey van der Ven challenge right at the end on Sesko.
Yeah, that was nice.
Oh my God, what a challenge that is. And like Mickey van der Ven, every game is just performing at such a high level, isn't he?
I'll tell you what. So I know Brian's a huge Thomas Frank fan. I'm struggling to get a bit on board. I kind of feel like to me he's your rebound girlfriend. Like the girlfriend before was, looking back at Ange, he was hot but a bit crazy, and then so you get the rebound girlfriend, not quite so hot, not quite so crazy. But I'm struggling to. He's fantastic at set pieces. I would have liked to have seen him kind of coaching with Ange doing the set pieces because Ange never did it. But I think Thomas Frank's been fantastic for Van der Ven. I think he's improved all the aspects of Van der Ven's play that was lacking. Has significantly improved under Thomas Frank. I think it just lined up really well. The stuff that Thomas Frank is really good at is the stuff that Mickey van der Ven needed worked on. So he's just a phenomenal player now. I mean, he always had the talent there, and his passing was good even last year, but the heading was missing. The not having to do the crazy runs all the time. Just his timing, his runs a lot better now, and pacing himself a lot better. Going forward better. Yeah, it's really the improvement in Mickey Van der Ven just incredible this year under Thomas Frank. But I kind of feel like, to be honest, I kind of like feel like for me, I'm looking forward to the next manager almost because I can't.
It can't be like that, David. Surely,
Okay. Let me ask you this question. Only because it's not that I'm not really Frank out, but I guess it's partly because the World Cup year next year, so a lot of managers will become available, and I want us to win everything, and I can't see what we're going to win under Thomas Frank. Like for this year, what do you think we can win this year? I mean, I guess potentially the Champions League, but I'm not seeing enough attacking stuff. Well, no, but I mean that's the way I see it. Like I want to win the Champions League, I want to win the Premier League. So what do we have to do as a club to do that?
David,
we need a much better squad.
Yeah,
that's what we need.
Yeah, that's part of it for sure. But I want to see, we can't get Pep, but I want to see a top level manager come in with a squad and say, okay, the Lewis family's taken over now. Daniel Levy's gone. Let's see that ambition of let's win these things. I think it's really easy to say, well, that's crazy talk. No, let's do it. Like otherwise, what's the point? I'm trying to win everything we're going in for. And if we need to get a new squad and a new manager, however you do that.
David, we've just finished 17th last season, and yeah, I know we've won. I know we've won the Europa League, and that was great and everything, but we've just finished 17th. We've lost 22 games in a season. Frank is working with scraps up front, in my opinion. He's got a lot of injuries in the squad as well that have been lasting from last season, like your James Maddisons, Kulusevskis, who would be so important and so vital to our attacking play. I'm a fan of Thomas Frank, and look, I agree with you. A lot of our games haven't been good enough this season in terms of our attacking output, patterns of play, identity. Not been good enough in a lot of aspects, but you need to give a manager time. Managers need to be given time to really work on their philosophy, more transfer windows to get better players in. He's only had one transfer window, and in that one transfer window, we have brought in quality. And in terms of pure results, I know everyone else has got to play this season, but we're sitting third in the table. Like, you got to give him time, and you got to, it's right to criticise when you feel the need to criticise, but he has done a lot of good things as well.
Yeah, I'm just going to add to that as well, because you mentioned Ange, David. I said in his first season, with no European football, he only got fifth, which was fantastic. And then in the next season, he went on to win his trophy. You said you referred to a girlfriend. Frank needs time. He's like a mature, a fine red wine. He's going to mature with age. It's going to take time. I will sit here, probably as the channel. I am obsessed with Frank. I've wanted him before Ange. I think he's a brilliant manager. I think his coaching team is brilliant. Does the style of football need to improve? 100%. Does it need to be more attack-minded and going forward and creative? Absolutely. But when he's got none of the players that can do that, what he's coming to do straight away, Ange Postecoglou came in, David, and the first thing he had to do was play the Tottenham way, as they say, and just play attacking football, and the Spurs fans would fall in love with him, which they did. I was a huge fan of Ange until the North London derby last season in January. I was completely Angean until that North London derby, then that was me done. But now, when he's come in, he's got to make us he's got to make us hard to beat. He's got to sort out that defence that leaked in ridiculous amount of goals. Yes, there were injuries, but Thomas Frank's first thing he's got to address is being hard to beat and not conceding so many goals. And on that, he's doing. When he gets the striker, when he gets the attacking players, we get Kudus and Odegaard, things will happen and things will come.
Yeah, look, I hope you're right. I guess part of it for me is, and this, as I say, I'm not Frank out. I'm finding it hard to get excited about it, partly because the motto is to dare is to do. And I hope you're right that he's working on defence first and eventually it'll, once that's solid enough, he can kind of work on an attacking football. But that's what I want to watch. I want to watch attacking football. And, the last year, really, it wasn't great football to watch. And you have to win. So I hope you're right about Frank. I'm just struggling to get excited because I'm not seeing it yet, I guess is the thing. Maybe it's just because he's working on the defence and maybe another year from now, he can, once that's done, he can kind of focus on the attack. But for right now, I'm just like, well, I'm not seeing enough to kind of see the ambition that I want for the club, which is to win everything. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope you guys are right.
Let's see what happens. It's all a waiting game at this moment in time. It doesn't get any easier, though. Arsenal away next, and then I think game after Fulham, and then we got Fulham at home, and then we got Newcastle away. So I think very hard games coming up. So let's hope that we can see improvements after the international break. But David, thanks for coming on, mate.
Good speaking with you, David.
Good to talk to you, boys.
See you later.
In a bit.
See ya.
All right, let's move on and look who is coming on next. My brother Amir. Big up, Amir. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing okay after that. I'm doing okay, a little bit disappointed because, Tottenham Hotspur, we're just like a roller coaster at Fort Park, aren't we, lads? They'll take you up, they'll bring you back down, they'll take you on a loop-the-loop, around and around, and in the end, you'll finish up with a point against United. Yeah, what a crazy ending to the game that was. Just a shame we can't do the basics, can we? Marking on a corner, letting De Ligt alone like that. It's just, really disappointing ending, but it is what it is. We need to bounce back in a couple of weeks. We've got a huge game against the Scummers down the road. So, we're going to have to bounce back and get a result there, to be honest with you, boys.
In terms of the game in general, if you look at the game as a whole, do you feel like we deserved any more out of the game, or was a point a fair reflection of it?
Do you know what? I think the people saying that a point is a fair result, I don't really think so. I think that was our game to lose, to be honest with you. I thought United were dreadful, to be perfectly honest with you. And I thought we had huge chances in there, which, although people were complaining about not having shots on goal, Richie missed a sitter in that first half. That header, any striker worth his salt should be burying that 9 times out of 10. Romero, in the start of the second half, had another one where he kind of flicked his leg at it instead of just putting his foot through, which again, from 5 yards out, you should be scoring that all day long. So I really do think we should have got more out of that game. And yeah, to get a draw after being up with 4 minutes to go or whatever it was, it's a kick in the teeth, guys. It really is a kick in the teeth because we were there. We were there. And it's from our sloppiness that we're giving these goals away. And that's the most frustrating thing from my side of things anyway.
All it was, defend that corner and 3 points were there.
Yep.
That's all it was.
There you go. And a completely different feeling around the club, a buzz again of going into the derby, with a lot more confidence. And that's what I'm talking about. This club, we need to be a bit more stable and do the basics. I'm asking just for basics, marking, passing. In that first half, I was going crazy. I was pulling my hair out because we were misplacing 2-yard balls, 5-yard balls. Johnson playing it out. Porro, absolutely shocking in that first half. I don't know what he was doing. He should have been hooked at half time, to be perfectly honest. We had a few corners. All the deliveries were shocking. We could have tried something different. Could have tried a short corner. Could have played it to the edge of the box. There was no ingenuity there. So I think, we do need to be a bit patient with Frank. It's a new project. It's a new set of players. He's got the January window to bring in a few more that he likes, get a few out the door. But we need to be seeing a bit more progress, especially in the Premier League. The home form, guys, let's be real. It's shocking. What, 3 losses, 2 draws, scraping draws. It's not great at home, is it?
No, it's not.
Well, Amir, you know what? The home form has been bad since we've opened the stadium. Apart from the half season with Conte when we beat Arsenal and got Champions League, I think it's 6. We are 6 games, 6 defeats away from equaling the Filth's losing run for the whole time they've been at the Emirates.
Yeah,
our home form has been atrocious since we moved to the stadium.
It's not good enough at all, Brian. You know, let's be real about it. It's been really, really bad. And that's why today was so frustrating for me, because we were there, we were almost there to get that second win of the season and push on and give us a bit of confidence going into the derby. It's just a shame we couldn't hold on, and I think Frank will be furious. To be perfectly honest with you, I think if he's not going absolutely bonkers there in the dressing room, you know, because we were so close, and to fight back, to the fight back was incredible. Let's be real. As soon as we got Odebear on there and Tell on there, the game changed. Bentancur as well influenced the game, I thought, and you know. To get to that winning position of 2-1 and then to let it all go away is really, really frustrating. But I do think that we've learned a lot from that game. We've learned who should be starting, who should be benched. You know, for me, Wilson and Udogie have to be playing down that left.
Yep.
I mean, that's an obvious, right?
Oh, 100%. Going into the North London derby, Amir, if the three fullbacks are fit, obviously Destiny starts. He has to start on the left. Who are you putting in at right back for the North London derby?
Do you know what? I might play Spence on the right. I might
agree.
drop Porro.
I agree.
I'll drop Porro for that one.
I agree with that as well, to be honest. I think as well, when Spence moved over to right back, you could see him actually being able to attack with his favourite foot on his right down the right hand side, get to the byline, get crosses in the box. You know, he just looks so much more of a threat offensively when he's on the right hand side. But I wanna bring it back to what you were saying about Wilson Odebear, because obviously he comes on with Matisse Tell, and both of them changed the game
completely.
What, for the life of you, can you understand why Odebear did not start today?
So do you know what? The only thing that comes to mind really is that we wanted to be a threat from set pieces, and that's why he kept Richie in the team. Like, he was thinking we might get a few corners, set pieces, and Richie's good in the air. That's the only thing that would make me think to play Richie off the left. It didn't really make sense in terms of an attacking formation. You know, Odebear offers so much more than Richie off the left, and that's his natural position. And we saw when he came on, you know, he was absolutely going at those defenders, making them panic, making them backstep, you know, had the beating of his man every time. So maybe it was that. I'm not too sure. And that's the thing, Brian, I know you have big love for Frank, and I do think he's a really good manager. I just do question a couple of the decisions, and you know, even the subs, I thought he could have done things a little bit earlier to change the game. I mean, for me, sitting there, it was so obvious that Porro was on an off day. He played well during the week, but today was just one of those days where nothing was going for him. Misplacing passes, letting runners go, corners were terrible. Make the subs early. Make that impact a bit early. So I do think that Frank needs to kind of be a bit more ballsy with his decision making in the starting lineup and in game. Yeah.
I completely agree with that. We saw what game was it where it took ages to bring the two subs on Bergvall, and was it Villa? It was Villa when I was doing the watch from here. With that, he has got to be more ruthless. I don't doubt that phrase, but the only thing he's going to do, Amir, is trial and error, isn't it? He's gone for a system, and and like you said, he should have made the subs earlier, could have made the subs earlier, but the subs he did make turned the game around.
The thing is, though, Brian, we're talking about. I get the trial and error. We're talking about trial and error. But we've done this trial and error thing all season on the left-hand side with Wilson Odebear.
Should be on.
And Odebear is performing consistently.
That I agree.
He has to be starting.
That
he
I
has
agree
to
with.
be.
That I wholeheartedly agree with. Wholeheartedly.
No, he does. We can all see that, and you know, we can see that there's questions as well in that midfield. You know, does Sarr start? Does Bentancur start? I think today was a hard one to actually decide between the two. I kind of feel like Bentancur's been playing so much that maybe he thought, look, I'll give him a little rest. But in all honesty, he's our best in that position. You know, I think he was phenomenal on during the week, and the more he plays, I think the better we're going to be. Actually, Rodrigo, I think he's hitting some form, and I'd like to see him in the 8.
Yeah.
More.
So do you go with Palhinha and Bentancur back in for the derby?
Oh, 100% for the derby, 100%. Another little thing that I wanted to touch on was Xavi's role. I know some of the comments were a little bit frustrated with his performance today. I actually think he was picking up lovely pockets of space, and we weren't finding him a lot of the time. He was kind of drifting into space, and this is one of the things that I think Frank really does need to improve on in our gameplay, is the kind of going backwards all the time instead of looking for a forwards pass and risking a through ball. We kind of just turn sideways or we go back, and I think if we're a little bit quicker with our thought and with the passing, we can find Xavi in those spaces. And then when you make the runs down the wings, then when Johnson goes, Odegaard goes, Muani, your tells, they start making those runs. We can start finding them in space, and it will start to make goals look easy to come by instead of kind of, eking them out in the last 10 minutes like we did today. Because we do need to be a bit more creative up front. Although we had big chances today, they were few and far between. They weren't like during the week against Copenhagen, where we were just, that's to do with levels of opponents, really. Let's be honest. It's a lot easier for us.
I agree with what you're saying on Xavi. I think you can clearly see someone growing in the Spurs shirt when you're talking about Xavi. And I'd even take it further than that, is that when we actually did find him in those pockets of space, there was no movement around him, no one creating, no one moving, so he can thread those lovely balls through to them. So I do think the team did Xavi a bit of a disservice today.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. At half time, we're not making the correct runs. We're not challenging the United defenders to be on the back foot and be running backwards. Instead, we're playing everything's in front of them. It's just too easy. Yeah. And when you've got someone like Maguire there, you should be testing him, running at him, get him stumbling over. Just go at him. You saw that's what Wilson did as soon as he came on. Yeah. He was just going at him again and again and again. Another little trick, another little cutback, and he had the beating of them. So we need to be a bit more brave on the ball. But look, there's a lot of positive signs coming off Tuesday, and today there are a lot of positives to take. Even though we did concede that last minute equaliser, which was a real kick in the cojones, there are a lot of positives to take.
All right, Amir, always a pleasure to speak to you, my friend. We move on to the North London derby next.
Come on.
Let's see how it goes, mate.
Look, it's time to break the duck over there, isn't it? 2010 was Kabul. Bloody hell, that's a long time ago. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah, me too, mate.
So, look, we're going to do it. Come on. Beat the filth.
There you go. Well said, Amir.
Have a good rest of the weekend, my bro. We'll speak in a bit.
Take care, guys. Take care. All the best.
See you later, bro.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
All right. So Frank has been speaking at the press conference, and he says that I think so. He was asked about Spurs trying to figure out the best combination that fits the attack, and he says, I think that's fair. We're searching for the right balance up front. I think when we watched the game back, there are positive bits going forward. We created one of the biggest chances for Richarlison from Brennan's early cross. He scores before Brian and maybe makes it open up the game a little bit more. But I mean, you're talking about finding the best solutions up front. Odegaard is literally like one of the best solutions right now.
Yeah, but I think he means there's a dynamic of the three. I mean, if you look at it, Solanke, if you look at the ball from Xavi in Copenhagen for Muani, and that ball from Johnson from on the left, Solanke gets that on target. Solanke makes contact. Solanke probably scores both, in all honesty, because that is what he is best at. I don't think he's the option there, but then it's Johnson and Muani, or is it Johnson and Richarlison, or is it Richarlison and Muani? That's the bit. But listen, the whole Odegaard thing is completely right. He should have started, undeniably. It's the three trying to get some, with the movement together. I mean, if you had Kudus there, and then Odegaard, and then Muani, let's say, I think that solves it.
Quick score update. Burnley have taken the lead at the London Stadium. West Ham 0, Burnley 1. So happy days there. But let's bring on our next guest, and he goes by the name of Arian. Let's see what he has to say for himself. Arian, how are we doing, brother?
Not quite as good as I was. Not quite as good as I was for about 3 minutes, or however long that was. Not horrible though. I think I'll say it'd be better if the game ended 1-1 than 2-2. I think performance-wise, and I think you mentioned earlier, I know it's kind of there's a wide range. Some people think we kind of stole it. Some people think I think maybe United were the ones that got lucky. They only had 2 shots on target. I think we probably edged it about. 2-2 is not a terribly unfair scoreline. It's a kick in the nuts though, like Amir was saying. So, we take it in stride and we go on to the next game. But just a little bit. I think the thing that really sucks is that it would have been really massive for our home form if we win that game, and then maybe we can kick on. But now, I feel like maybe like the atmosphere is kind of what I'm really upset about the most. But
yeah, that's the thing. But did you see things from the game today, compared to how we've been playing so far at home this season that you can take from and build on?
Tons of things. I think the main positive was actually that Kudus wasn't playing and that we actually created a ton, in my opinion. I thought we created a lot, especially in the second half. And to do that without Kudus, who's basically been our one-man attack all season, is really encouraging. Because honestly, if you ask me, hey, if we play a game without Kudus, how many shots do we put up? I'd probably say like 2 shots. Forget about shots on target and goals. So to create as many chances, because we really had United on the back foot even before they had 10 men. So and I think their goal came really against the run of play. I thought their second goal, obviously, I don't even want to talk about it. So we especially when Odegaard came on, we created tons. We were just in their box. We were really suffocating them, and we got a very deserved goal to take the lead. And then I really don't think we reacted well. I don't think we were composed. I was pretty pissed off, honestly, at Richarlison for taking his shirt off because I knew it was coming next. And seriously, we're watching the game over here. I have a TV right there, and I was telling my dad, I promise you, as soon as Richarlison put his shirt, I said, this motherfucker is gonna make us concede because every time he takes his shirt off, something bad happens. Yeah, I saw a lot of positives, and I think the best thing is a lot of people are gonna lie to themselves because they don't like Frank because of their love for Ange, which we all know I loved Ange, but a lot of people who loved Ange for some reason went to the school of thought that they're against Frank, and they've come on and they've said we've seen no progress, our attack looks really poor, and I think you can criticize Frank fairly for a lot of things, but to say that we've seen no progress is probably the biggest lie out there. Our attack has progressed significantly, our defense has progressed worlds from what he inherited. I think we've seen progress. Could you say it's not enough progress? We could sit here and make that argument if you want, but I think players like Odegaard look better. I think even players like Johnson look better, even though I don't think he's particularly good today. I think he looks better than when Frank inherited. I think Tell looks a lot better. Finally got a second goal. I think a lot of the players that Frank have improved, and I think we improved as a team. Are we at the level that we need to be? No, but that's why you have to work through things. That's why there's going to be a January window. Remember, we have the what is it? Or don't we have the largest value loss, like percentage? So the percentage of our team in terms of injuries. In terms of the percent of value of our team that's out injured, we have the highest, and the bulk of that is our attacking options like Madison, Solanke, Kudus, and Kulusevski. And yet we still went out and created tons more chances than United, who spent $300 million on attacking this summer. So all in all, I'd say we did pretty well.
Do you know what, Arian? Let me ask you a question, because obviously when Vicario was getting grief recently, you came out and adamantly defended him and was proven right with some incredible performances. I'm not blaming him for anything for the second goal. That was delivered far post, blindsided. Yeah. What was your thoughts on his for the first goal?
I honestly think maybe the second goal was more savable than the first goal. I think they were both like medium goals where like the keeper could save it. Like if the keeper saves it, you're saying good save, but I don't think you're ever blaming the keeper for that, in my opinion. It's a tough one. I think both of them are much bigger examples of really poor defending than they are poor goalkeeping. Okay. Not to say that I think there are keepers out there who would. I think like a Courtois probably saves at least one of those. And obviously, ideally, in an ideal world, we'd have a Thibaut Courtois in goal, but we don't. That doesn't mean he's a poor keeper. I think, 2 all right goals, all right finishes, decent shots on target for Man United. And could Vicario have saved that? Yes. If Vicario saves both of those, we're not here saying good job, Vicario. We're saying, wow, what a performance by Vicario.
Yeah.
Really kept us in the game, right? So we're not saying it's not an expected save. If he made that save, we're all sitting here saying, phenomenal, well done, what a save. You saved us the game, and we can't expect that from our goalkeeper. We should be expecting those situations to be prevented from our defense. So.
Any idea on what the thinking was to not start Wilson Odobert and put Richie on from the start?
I think the thinking was that Odobert played midweek, so did Richie, but he played off the bench, and I think Frank anticipated Ahmad playing wingback from the start, and he wanted to have a go at him physically on the wing. I'd assume that'd be it. Given that Ahmad obviously did not start on the wing at wingback and Mazraoui did, maybe that was a foil a little bit, and that's why he made the halftime change. And that just makes a lot of sense to me that he thought he'd go for the physical approach to bully Ahmad. Didn't work out, so at halftime he changes it. I'm a little surprised it was Richarlison that he didn't take off, and he took off Colomani instead. That was very questionable for me, and I really don't think it worked out the way people are saying, because I don't think Richarlison was the reason that goal went in anyway.
What a touch it was from Richarlison.
Oh, yeah, right. That's Harry Kane-esque. So, yeah, I think, I think maybe, honestly, I'm really pissed with Richarlison, because I think if he doesn't take his shirt off, there was a moment after the goal was scored where Richarlison could have shoved or pulled De Ligt off the ball, taking an easy yellow card, and we all recover. And because of his antics, taking his shirt off, he wasn't able to do that, and they go on and win the corner and score. It's a little harsh to blame him for that, but I was really pissed, because I told my dad if he could pull him and take him off, if we concede here, I blame Richarlison. We ended up conceding. Now, I'm not a prophet or anything, but the things that I said were going to happen, I just knew as soon as Richie celebrated something was going to happen. Every time. When he did it at Anfield, when he did it, there was another time when he did it at in the Champions League game. Am I crazy? I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of a little bit just de-energized out of that. That really sucked the life out of me, that goal. But I think it was just a physical decision to not start Odobert, and maybe 45 minutes would have been enough. I think people coming on here and saying Frank was silly for not making this change or making that change at the wrong time, that's all really semantic nonsense, because at the end of the day, Frank did make the changes, and we did go 2-1 up. So I can't really see a world where you're saying it's Frank's fault for not making them soon enough. It's just a really poor defensive moment on that corner. De Ligt is completely unmarked. If there's anything Frank should have done, is take Johnson off, because he's useless on set pieces, and that'd be why we conceded. But again, really, really semantic nonsense, because the changes he made were, even though we all booed at home and in the stadium, they ended up being perfect. So what can you say?
You talk about the way Frank is improving players right now, but talk to me about Pedro Porro, because I feel like the last couple of league games from him has been really poor, to be honest.
I mean, I think I definitely do agree. I think he's been kind of poor in the last few league games. He's just like such a consistent performer for us that seeing him drop is very unusual, but also you have to remember this guy's playing 90 minutes almost every game.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit, I feel for him a little bit. I think he's a good player, but our fullback depth is just really bad. We have 3 fullbacks, so that's just where it starts and ends for me until we can get him some proper rest. And the main thing that people aren't really talking about is Man United trained the whole week. They don't have European games, so we have to go in with a squad that's play Europe. And you look at our worst performers this game. They're the players who played in. I guess besides Odobert, we count. You look at the starters. Johnson played until he got sent off in Europe. Porro, Romero had to go off. But the players who really you could say had an off game were the ones who played 90 minutes or more than a half in the European game. So that's a massive difference at the Premier League level. So that's a lot of these things going against us, and then we have to concede a really late goal, and that's how United save a point. I think all in all, pretty good. But that being said, I think Porro defensively has still improved under Frank. I think I don't think you can look at a single player, really. Can you look at a single player under Thomas Frank and say he is worse off now? His performances are consistently worse than they were under Ange. I don't think you can really pick a player out for that.
No, I agree with that. I don't think so.
And you know what it is, Arian? With Porro, his defensive has improved, but the thing that he's the best at, his passing and range of it, and his creativity going forward, that's the bit that's taken a bit of a backward step under Frank. I mean, against Copenhagen, he showed exactly what he could do with his range of passing, his crossing. He's done it in the Champions League at Bodo as well. In the Premier League last 2 games, his passing has been very poor.
I would agree with you, but I'm kind of struggling to think of when the last time was that Porro had a very, very solid attacking game under Ange. That happened. That the last time Porro was really, really good going forward, even under Ange, was like maybe in the first half of last season, really towards the second half. I don't think Porro looked very good going forward at all. I think it's been kind of a slump that's lasted for more than a year. I think his crosses have been really wayward for like a while. I think really it's kind of been a longer thing, just because he's playing more of a defensive role recently, even under Ange, where you see the games like in Europa. I don't think he's been good going for like as good as he was in the first bit of his Spurs career going forward in a while, in my opinion.
I think he's
Just off
sloppy.
memory.
He's more sloppy than usual.
Definitely. I think his crosses are not quite as accurate. Just a lot of stuff. It's been a longer than just Frank's appointment, and hopefully he brings that out. And also, he is playing a lot more defense. I think Udogi's kind of being the fullback that's being encouraged to go up more, and Porro's use as a creative player is just being more used as like a deep lying player if he wants to put a long ball in it, and that's really what he's not really getting in those positions to put in good crosses as much, and when he is, he's not doing it very well, and it's been going on for a while. So I wouldn't put that down to Frank. And I think even if he has lost a little bit under Frank going forward, I think he's gained a lot more defensively. I think defensively 1v1, I've actually never been more confident in Porro 1v1 ever. I'm not really worried 1v1 anymore with him, and I used to be a lot. I think everybody did.
Yeah. All right, Arian, just quickly, last question. Would you consider starting Spence ahead of Porro at right back against Arsenal?
Against Arsenal, absolutely, I would. I think we kind of want the physicality going there. If anything, it's a tough one because I think they're defensively actually both quite similar, but I definitely think Spence's pace is kind of what sets it up. And not even the defense. I think Spence's pace alone, we're going to have to hit Arsenal on the counter, so we're going to need pace. Udogi and Spence has to be the fullback pairing for me.
All right, big up, Arian. Thanks for coming on today,
Hello,
mate.
everybody.
Onwards and upwards to the North London derby.
Onwards and upwards, and as always, come on, Spurs!
Come
I
on!
will say as well with Arian, when he said the positives that there are to take from him, we have to remember we've lost 4 in 17, which is, yes, we should have got more wins. I'm not disputing that. But like I said, we've got to make ourselves harder to beat. If someone had said to you at the start of the season, the first 17 games you'll lose 4, you'd take it, wouldn't you?
I guess, yeah, after losing 22 games last season. A couple of updates. West Ham have got the equaliser through Callum Wilson, and Everton are 1-0 up against Fulham with Idrissa Gueye. So let's move on to our next corner. Looks like
Northern Lights.
he's in front of the Northern Lights there. They're looking actually quite cool, those Northern Lights. Let's get on Daniel Sammer. How you doing, mate?
Good man. You guys hear me though?
Yeah, we can hear you. What did you think of the game today, mate?
First of all, mothership of Tottenham fan content. Love to be here.
Good to have you.
The game was good. The game was all right, to be honest. We were bad. The first half, we were very, very shaky. I can't lie, because we were thinking early in the first half, though, attacking wise, it was little patterns of play that was, I guess, kind of improved. I can see Frank trying to do something else than what he was doing before, because we're playing a lot more tighter. But the only issue is later on that first half, when Xavi, I think somebody mentioned it before, where he was finding pockets of spaces. But when it comes to him, distributing, and when it comes to the next step after that, where he gets the ball in those tiny pockets of spaces, whether it's like finding that through ball, someone coming to link up with him, that was now becoming an issue because everybody was playing a lot more wider, and it was just a bit, it was just ending up us being a lot more wasteful. Defensively, I think you guys are talking about Pedro Porro with Arian before I jumped on. You see, with Pedro Porro, he's good, but the stuff that he's not good at is when it comes to those situations, like when it comes to defending 1v1s, he's just so shaky, and it ends up becoming very detrimental to us. It's like Paulinho, because I remember you guys mentioned it in the Monaco game, where when it comes to him destroying, when it comes to him intercepting top tier, he's one of the best in the league at it. Even before he even came to Tottenham, when he was at Fulham, he was one of the best in the league at it. But when it now comes to him having the ball, especially for a midfielder, when it comes to him having the ball and distributing it and progressing it up the field, That's where he's now. He's now just. It's not. He's not good at that to a point where it becomes detrimental to us. To a point where it now impacts us, and it's just a bit. It's a bit annoying. And even Wani,
Yeah.
he's a good striker. He's a good striker, but I think Thomas Frank is kind of understanding now that a lot of these new players that we've got in, I think it's just a chemistry problem, but that's why we're not we're not really gelling. Colomwani's a good striker, but I think Thomas Frank's going to realize he's more of a winger than a striker. I think he's probably going to in out on the, if I'm honest, because he's not linking up well. He's not somebody that you can just leave up there. You see, Richarlison, you can leave him up there because he presses. Even though that's the only thing he's good at, you can't put 50p on him finishing a one-on-one if you
I won't put 10p on it.
You wouldn't put 10p on it. You wouldn't put no money on him finishing a 1v1. But again, when it comes to disrupting that backline and pressing, he's kind of the best of what we've got. And that's why I think Colomani might end up on that left wing side. Second half were a lot better. Odobert came on. And luckily, I know you've been asking why Odobert didn't start. I don't think he should have started. I think I was about to say Ange, stupid me. I think Frank did the perfect thing there where he put Odobert on, and Amrin did the dumb thing of taking Mazraoui off, because then Odobert's now having these 1v1 situations against Diallo that came in that wing spot, and then obviously he
destroyed him, didn't he? Absolutely destroyed Diallo.
But let's not get too gassed about Odobert though, because he was up against Diallo. That's a forward.
But it's true. He is up against a forward, but at the end of the day, he's been getting better and better every time he's got minutes on the pitch. So you can only give him praise.
He's been getting better and better. Yeah, he has. But this is my issue. Yeah, this is my issue with players like him and Tell. They've been getting the opportunities, but I'm looking at it where it's like, when we were 17th last season, players like him and players like Tell weren't us then.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it like, fair enough, they're doing what they're getting this opportunity and they're getting better, but I'm looking at someone like Yang Ming and I'm like, he was better back then. He was doing his thing. Fair enough, it was in the championship, but he was doing his thing then. Odobert and Tell proven last season that they're not. It's hard to say it now because they're doing well now, but they were kind of proving that they weren't levels for us back then when we were 17.
Yeah, but
because they weren't playing in the Europa League games. That's where we were resting.
Look, what I would say to that is that they're young players, and you can't expect them to do it at once. They're improving, and that's all you can ask right now.
Yeah, they're improving, but my thing is, who deserves that chance more than who deserves that chance? Because I'm looking at Donley, I'm looking at Yan Ming, I'm looking at now our best striker right now is not even at Tottenham in my opinion. It's Alejo Veliz at Argentina he's banging in goals in Argentina with Di Maria.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He scored how many goals? He scored 6 goals in 12 games over there.
Yeah.
And we're out here struggling for a forward.
Do you know what, Daniel? If you're talking about Mawani playing out wide on the left, if he goes wide out on the left, what striker within reason do you think is perfect to say go out and get in January if Mawani was to move to the left?
I think we should get somebody that's gonna allow us to control the game more. Right now, Thomas Frank is. I think he should be a lot more ballsy in his approach. We should aim for a lot more control. I would say a false 9 type of player, at least a tall one at best. To ask for a striker.
If I said to you Ivan Toney, do you reckon Ivan Toney would be the one?
Yeah, but Ivan Toney coming from the Saudi league, man. Come on, man.
Oh, wait, no, listen. Saudi would have to supplement their wages by about 50% minimum if it was on loan, not to buy on loan for 6 months.
Even on loan?
On loan, just for the next 6 months.
You can take. Yeah, but what happens after the 6 months then?
Then we look for someone better in the summer.
Hopefully, someone that plays in Germany.
I don't think we're gonna move like that. That's not financially responsible. That's not. I don't think we're gonna move like that. Levi's gone. Don't get me wrong. We're not gonna do the budget cut stuff. We're not gonna start moving like brokies and stuff. But still, I don't think we're gonna move like that. I'm not sure what striker we should use. I'd say it's a tough question. I'm not sure. I'd have to put research into that one.
But Daddy, you're talking about the likes of the Donnellys and the Yang Min Hyuks and people like that. Like Donnelly can't get a game for Stoke right now. Like he literally
he can't get a game for Stoke right now. But again, like off the back of what he did last season.
Yeah, but he was playing for Leyton Orient. He was in League. Was it League 2 or
yeah,
League
but
1?
he was playing for Leyton Orient, but again, he's playing for Leyton Orient, but he was on the incline. His thing was on the incline. You not see what I'm getting at? Matthias Tel dropped from Bayern to us. He was a bench warmer at Bayern.
Yeah.
You decided to permanently sign him.
Yeah.
He was supposed to come on loan for 80 million, remember?
Yeah.
A loan for 80 million pound option to buy, and it ended up being 20 million.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Come on.
I don't disagree with what you're saying about Tel. Like I never pretty much agreed with the Tel signing in general.
It's not even just Tel though. Like someone like Paulinho now, like again, I think when it comes to destroying, like what you said in that Monaco game, it was you, Ben, that said, when it comes to destroying, he's top tier. But after that, you know, there's issues to his game. I get the Prem is like it's a different level, but when we got in Thomas Frank, did we get him to build, or did we just get him to improve on what we got? Did you just get him to just get results and then get another manager after him? That's the only reason why I'm suggesting these players should, you know, at least be in rotation. That's the only reason why.
But also these guys, I mean, the loans are going to be so valuable to them just to get them used to men's football. And Donnelly's moving up in the ranks. He needs to come back and go on a better loan in January.
But are they gonna play though? Are they gonna play?
Eventually, that's got to be the plan.
Are we ever going to use them?
Eventually, that's got to be the plan.
I don't think so. Because you look at someone like Vuskovic now. We loaned him at Hamburg. He made what? Team of the month. What was the thing that he made team of the month?
He got rookie of the month like twice in a row, I think.
Yeah.
Look at that. You know, notice Danzo again. Danzo player, we permanently signed him. But is Danzo from the start of this year till now? Do you guys believe that Danzo is better than Vuskovic?
Yes.
Vuskovic that we loaned out.
Yes.
No, come on, man. Vuskovic almost took his Belgium team to Europe.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He's 18. Listen, he's got all the physique, the attributes, and everything. He's 18 years old. He'll come back.
If you're good enough, you're old enough, and we're not in a position where we can afford to just let go of quality like that.
To tell you the truth, Daniel, the one I would bring back, and I'm a huge fan of his as well, is Ashley Phillips. If we're to bring one of them back, Ashley Phillips has done well with his loan with Plymouth, did incredible well with his loan at Stoke. Back at Stoke, playing regularly, doing well. He's playing Championship English football week in, week out, doing well. Stoke are high flying. A little bit older, I believe, than Vuskovic for a year or two. Vuskovic has still got to develop.
But are you just saying that because Vuskovic is young? Because Vuskovic has got the game.
But then when you're comparing him to Danso, I think Danso is a great defender. I think Danso.
Yeah, he is a great defender.
Superb.
But what?
You got to remember Dragushin's coming back as well, which will play better with playing a deeper line of defence. So if we have Danso and Dragushin, then you add him, he's not going to get game time.
But my point is, we shouldn't have. I don't think we. It's like we're kind of instead of us to build off the potential of these young guys, of these quality young guys that we've got, we're like, you know, it's like we're settling for mediocrity with these signings that we're making, with some of these signings that we're making. Because Danzo, how much better is he going to get than what he's doing now? And how much, and is that better, whatever his peak is? Do you think it's going to be more than what Vuskovic could end up becoming?
No,
not just on like a likely thing. But
no,
like,
I think what you're saying is Vuskovic has got a much higher ceiling than Kevin Danzo, 100%.
Yeah, obviously he's got a much higher ceiling.
But I think
he's got a much higher ceiling longer than the short run.
The decision to let Vuskovic go on loan this year wasn't Tottenham's decision. Tottenham wanted to keep him. Luka Vuskovic wanted to go out on loan to play regularly week in, week out, and to play in the first
but that's
team.
only because he wasn't going to get game time here. That's only because
he was going to be a backup option, and we've got Romero and we've got Van de Ven. He's not getting in ahead of them.
And when those two, and let's say we're in 4 competitions, so when we're not playing
3.
Van de Ven and Romero, sorry, we're in 3 competitions, because of the. But at the start of the season, we were in 4 competitions. The game time that Vuskovic would have gotten outside Van de Ven and Romero, come on, he would have played bare games.
But I think that's what Spurs sold to him. He said, you'll be an option where you get cup games and you'll be part of the rotation. But he looked at it and he said he's got Romero and Van de Ven ahead of him. He wants to start week in, week out. And that's going to aid his development even further. And I fully believe Vuskovic is going to come back into the fold next year and fight for his place.
Yeah, I don't think he'll come back, man. I think he's going to stay at Hamburg now.
No. Listen, I think the loan and him staying out there all year for the long-term future of Tottenham Hotspur, it's better that he's out there on loan all season. He went to Poland, did brilliant. Went to Belgium, did brilliant. Now he's going a step.
Belgium. He was quality.
And is now
unbelievable.
Now he's going a step up into the German league, which is what people would say is probably the closest.
The geezer's wearing Tottenham shin pads, mate. Of course he's coming back.
Right. Damn right. He'll come back. That loan
But
spell at Hamburg.
if we don't treat them properly, if we don't capitalize on these players, because I think if Thomas Frank builds on these, if we get Thomas Frank to build on these players, I think what he'll be able to do a lot more than which that we're doing now.
Don't forget Mikey Moore as well. Mikey Moore's starting to rip it up in Scotland now.
In Belgium, exactly, at Rangers. But listen, I think it's going to get better under Thomas Frank. I think the issue now is that we've just signed a lot of players, and the chemistry is always going to improve. Once that chemistry improves, the system the players will be flourishing under that system, in my opinion.
All right, big up, Daniel. Thanks for coming on today, mate.
Good speaking with you, Daniel.
Yes, thank you, guys.
Take
Come
care,
on,
buddy.
you Spurs, man.
Come on.
Right.
Speak to you soon. Big up to Daniel. So a quick update. Thomas Frank said in the press conference that Cuti Romero is fine after coming off late on. So we can all breathe a sigh of relief regarding Cuti Romero. Let's go to our next guest. He goes by the name of Alex, donning the yellow shirt. I love that shirt. Let's bring him on. Alex,
Big up, Alex.
How you doing, mate?
Big up, guys. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I just feel like we have to call it out like it is. No sugarcoating. No, like I have a lot of things to say about the game. Like I want to cover everything quickly.
Okay.
But first of all, I want to talk about something that I don't think anybody has mentioned, and I think that's the way our goalkeeper errors have increased this season. I think it's down to Rob Birch leaving and Fabian Otto coming in, because the amount of positional errors that I see from Lucario this season that I didn't see last season. I mean, okay, he's 29. He's not supposed to have really high exponential development, upwards. Like he's kind of at his prime right now. But I think we have to call out the fact that no top goalkeeper in the world will ever stand behind the goal line. No goalkeeper will do that. He wasn't contested. He had a couple meters around him of free space. Why is he standing beside the goal line?
But Alex,
I'm not gonna put the entire blame to him, but a top goalkeeper doesn't stand behind the goal line in a situation like that. Like a Courtois, Alisson, they'll be at the goal line and they'll punch that ball right away.
Alex, remember that Otto has just been traded, Alisson. So maybe it's a progression thing with him. He was trading him. He was trading Kelleher, who's at Brentford now.
He has, but he got let go by Liverpool. He got let go by Burnley after he left there. And I don't know. That first goal, if we go back to the first goal, yeah, a lapse of concentration from Bukhari there, because he's supposed to follow the ball. You see it go. And to be fair, Romero, he might have thought that Romero would have gotten away with a header, and then he didn't have to move to the back post to be there. But I don't know. I think, yeah, I don't want to be on Vicarious back, but I don't think he is someone that will be an all around like, like he's never gonna flap. And I think that like his flappiness, I think it's down to coaching. That's why I'm not putting it all on him. I'm putting it down to the difference because under Rob Birch, I didn't see these sort of positional mistakes that I've seen from Vicario this
Yeah,
season.
but second half of the season last year, Alex, a lot of people were putting a lot of blame on Vicario for a lot of the league defeats.
On set pieces, I think that was on set pieces because he couldn't reach the ball and he flapped. But when it comes to positional errors, like alone, I didn't see that from. I didn't see that. Brighton, that goal when you go. How isn't he saying that? Today, that second goal. To be fair, I blame Brennan too, because as we saw earlier in the game, it was his job to mark De Ligt. That's why he got booked earlier on too, and I don't know where he was for that second goal. It was his job to mark him.
Yeah,
it's clear instructions from Frank too. He knows it, and he was nowhere to be seen. I don't know where was Brennan.
Whose bloody idea is it to put Brennan on De Ligt though?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but it was,
well, not just even that. Who you should have put Van de Ven there for that corner. Like we need to keep De Ligt quiet, Van de Ven, height, power, go there, but that is a bit of a bizarre one, the Johnson De Ligt, isn't it?
Yeah, and De Ligt he's, I'd say him and Casemiro, they're United's only set piece threat. I mean, on headers, if you look at their, like I think they've scored an absolute majority of the recent headers, and yeah, I mean. Yeah, that was that. And honestly,
Vicario has saved us so much though in the last 5 weeks.
Yes,
man.
I get up. I get up from the couch and I applaud him every time he makes great saves. But today, I'd say it's down to Frank's decisions. First of all, with the starting 11, I think it went a lot down to overthinking. We have to put that on him in a sense. Then Brennan's marking for the second goal, and I put it on Vicario too, because as I said, I don't think a top world-class goalkeeper stands behind this line because that was what he did. I don't know what it was. It was, it's lack of positional awareness, and
it was just a shit show all round, isn't it? From the defense all the way to the goalkeeper. I mean, everyone had to take some blame.
Yeah, and I think it's correlated to Fabianotto. Like we've seen a change in a goalkeeper coach there, and I see these mistakes this season that I didn't see last, and. Yeah, but that's enough about the. I want to talk about Odobert and Udogido. I want to mention them too because their partnership. I mean, I feel like they're the two sort of players that at the club right now with the current players we got. I think they're the ones that like you think they play together for like over 5 years the way they're playing. I'm not saying it's Son and Kane like sort of telepathy where you can know, but the way their dynamic it's incredible, honestly. And I think every time we see them together on the pitch, we just know that it's gonna go down the left side. And when Kudus is on, we have threats on both sides. I think if we had Odobert Udogi today and Kudus on the other side, I think that's a dual threat that's very difficult to manage. But I also want to criticize that. I don't know, Frank. I think he's too fixated on making substitution, no matter how bad a player is like underperforming. He's like fixated on it has to be a 65th. It can't be two changes at halftime, like because we saw Porro today, Pedro. I mean, it wasn't his game. I don't know where his head is. It might be on the Spain games. I don't know, but
it was the same last week in the league as well against Chelsea.
Yeah.
It was shocking.
Chelsea was worse.
Today he just. I mean, he's not usually the player that's sloppy with his passes and like his crosses. All of that is usually pinpoint, but today his corners, everything, all set piece deliveries today were. I mean, yeah, it wasn't to be praised at all. And yeah, Richie, I've talked about Richie, the way he takes his shirt off. I mean, I went absolutely nuts during that second goal. I was like, oh, I've done this.
That's just mainly PTSD though from the Liverpool game.
Yeah. I mean, you can see he was in tears at full time. Like he couldn't believe what he. No, I think that's the last time he's gonna take his shirt off. Because if it isn't, then, I mean, man, what are you doing? But 2 seasons ago against Sheffield United at home, that was one feeling, going about it like that. But today against United, I thought we were gonna do it. And against United themselves, the tears they were gonna shed after the game. Now I was gonna swim in all those tears. But shit happens, and it's not the end of the world. I think Frank will learn a lot from this game alone. But yeah, I mean, I called out the most obvious sort of yeah.
Are you
errors.
seeing progression in this team, and are you seeing a team going in the right direction right now?
I am. I do, and I think our sort of, I think the players' tactical awareness in sort of knowing their roles more than they did under Ange. Like, I think their roles under Ange were more fluid. There wasn't the sort of same accountability for what they did on the pitch. I mean, today I think the roles are more defined, and they'll grow into that as the season goes. Of course, I'm not pushing any sort of pressure on Frank that he might not be the guy. I believe that he can take this team to further levels, like higher. But yeah, I mean, also like the way we what was I gonna say? Yeah, but yeah, the starting 11 itself, I think with Richie there and Colomani, I don't know what it is. Colo isn't going on. He's not going away with France or anything. So I think you could maximize.
He is. He got called up
for France.
Yeah,
he did.
Ousmane Dembele's injured. He got called up.
Oh, okay. Well, then I get it. But I like if it wasn't the situation, I think you could like squeeze the maximum minutes out of him. Because yeah, I'm not gonna sort of be like go biased because Richie, yeah, he flick with the last goal. But yeah, I think the real issue is that what I mentioned, like lastly, I think this international curse sort of like energy around the club, like before breaks, I think it's still around. I think it's still around because our performances over against Leeds, it was good. It was good. You couldn't complain. We got the win. We got the 3 points away. But I don't know what it is. I just think some of the players, they're not 100% locked in. Their places are otherwise. And I think it's also down to the fact that if they drop poor performances before an international break, the accountability isn't there. They'll be away for the club. Most of them will be away for the club for over 2 weeks. There's no sort of, yeah, I'm not gonna sound like Conte, but pressure about winning. But like today, I didn't see this. I'm looking at Romero, and I mean, I see him lose his head for that yellow card when he and I thought, is this the way we're gonna go? We're gonna lose our head, especially when we concede first at home. Like the mentality I see from the players, it's like, they're wagging their heads down, and I'm not seeing this like, everybody clapping each other up like 1-0 down, it's nothing. We can still do this. Like against Wolves, Chelsea, is this, they're sighing after we concede the first goal, which we've done during all those games.
But we fought our way back in the game. We got 2-1 up, and then we just we conceded a very sloppy goal. So
today, I don't disrespect United. They're much better than they are last season, especially now they're in their form now. But we should be winning against United. I mean, we know how to win against our players. Majority of our players, they know exactly how to win against United. They know the players they're facing, 1v1 especially. Like they know them pretty much inside out. And yeah, I'm not gonna dwell too much on this game. It was tragic that we missed out on 3 points that would have had us second. But the main sort of importance of today is that I think Frank will learn a lot, especially about, Odegaard. I'm gonna praise him again. I think we're not.
He needs to be starting. He needs to be starting week in, week out.
Honestly, would you start him against the filth? Would you start him?
Yes,
right
100%. Yes, 100%.
I would. I mean, it's a lot more physical. Arsenal playing 4 centre backs in their back line, but I think his crossing. You could see his crossing today, pinpoint multiple times. Like it's not that before. I didn't think he had that, end product in him, but he's shown this season. Pulls up with goals. His crosses have been magnificent, and especially with Udogie behind him in that North London derby. In the Emirates, we might pull off a miracle, and yeah, you know how the entire fan base is gonna feel if we manage to do the impossible and win at the Emirates against this Arsenal. I mean,
This Arsenal are nothing, mate. They're absolutely nothing. We can go there and get 3 points.
I'm saying that it'll be a trophy, honestly. If we win against the Emirates, we
don't concede a set piece, and they won't score a goal. It's not that hard.
If we do it, I don't believe we will. I wouldn't predict it, but yeah, I'm looking forward now. It's yeah. especially like our home form. It will improve. I don't think we'll go the season with like we'll reach at least 15 wins at home this season. I think.
At home.
Yeah, but total in all competitions, Champions
Oh,
League
okay.
too.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so, mate. But Alex, a pleasure to have you on today, my friend.
See you later, Alex, buddy.
Thanks for having me. Thanks
Cheers,
for having
mate.
me.
I have to say, I love how many people naturally say now the filth.
It's all you, Daigle. It's all you.
It is. I do like that.
Yeah, and talking about the filth, let's bring on Brains.
Hey, I get the good introductions. I get the great introductions. Talking about the filth. Brains, how are you, buddy?
What's the filth about? That's just unbelievable.
I'm joking about Brains. I love you, mate. You know I love you.
No, you're probably pretty accurate as well.
How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's a tough game. Tough game to watch there, man. Really tough.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen a lot of discourse at the end of this game. You know, some saying we deserved nothing. Some saying, you know, a draw's a fair reflection. I'm saying I thought we edged it. What's your opinion?
Yeah, no, it's like I think we had the clearer chances. I thought we could have had a couple goals there. Like, how many saves does Vicario, other than the 2 goals, how many saves does he have to make?
He made
Yeah,
zero
it's not-
saves.
yeah.
He made zero saves in the game.
Right, and we've had the save that their new. Honestly, I think everything's changing a little bit for Man United. I still think they're underperforming with that attack, but they're starting to do a little bit better just because they have a decent goalkeeper.
Spot
He's
on.
made really good saves in that game,
Yeah.
and that's been the difference. Like on this day, it's turned out. So I do think Alex is like 100% correct, and I'm not, and I wouldn't. You know, if you look at Vicario, how good he has been of late, it's just some of the saves he's made recently are out of this world, you know? And it's just, you're not going to have a 10 out of 10 every week, you know? So I do 100% agree with Alex. The positioning on both goals is just wrong. And it's a tiny, but you have to think for Vicario, how, if I'm Vicario, I'm standing there going, how have they not cleared this? What is going on? Sar, you're in the box. You're in your 6-yard box. Clear it. You do not wait a second. Don't try to hoof the ball at your centre back.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Clear the ball. It's so simple. And then ball goes over to Spence. He headers the ball away, and then he gives Diallo yards to make a simple dinky cross. Like, Spence, what are you? I feel like sometimes when Spence is on that side, his brain just kind of shuts down. Like he is good when he's on that 1-to-1, but certain things he should never have given that space. He had 4 yards inside the box to make that cross. So
there's so many examples of it with Spence on that left hand side. Now we look at the Boda game, we look at the Chelsea game. They're really starting to clock up.
Yeah, it's and you would be thinking as well that he's probably realizing it, and it's starting to affect his confidence. How many times does he get the ball flat and he just goes back because he doesn't want it? It's like England in the last tournament. If you don't have a left side player, they can't take it on and go. He's good at so many things, and you see as soon as he goes on the right, he puts one of the best crosses of the day right into the danger area with his right foot. Something that Porro could not do for love or money the whole game. Spence goes on that side, aggressive, puts a cross in. Everything seems to work better with him being a right-sided player. So that was just so frustrating, man. But I think the first thing was I just couldn't believe the team sheet. I could not believe after the game against Copenhagen. Again, it's a different team, right? It's different quality opposition. But the mind state of how we played that game, the aggression, the intention to go forward, to push. How Frank isn't just going, same team, right? Same again. It does not even matter if you lose the game. If you have that intention and you're going forward, same again. Lose the game, whatever, but have that intention. And I guarantee you with that intention, same lineup, because all those players would have been so confident. Think about how confident you are after a 4-0 win in the Champions League. You're rocket fuel, right? Instead, Odegaard, sorry mate, you had incredible time when you came on the right too. Like his goal came from him being on the right. he put Romero through from picking the ball up on the right. He could play anywhere. He could be the 10, right? He's showing that kind of confidence to come on and play in different spaces. Sorry, mate. Nah, I'm not going to start with you today.
Yeah.
And I know it's about finishers of the game as well, but you can't tell me a young player like Odegaard is not going, why? Why am I not what? How am I not starting? So it's those little things that I think he doesn't realize that he kills players sometimes. Leeds, could have had a brace, scores a brilliant goal, don't see him again. You kill a player if you don't take advantage of the confidence when they do something big. He missed a real trick with Tell, and I've been critical of Tell, but what I've started to see from him off the ball, his movement, his finishing, it's all starting to come. And if you want to take advantage of a player who we all thought we shouldn't have bought, play him. And then he comes on today, the touch for his goal. Oh, superb. Richie is never doing that touch. Do you know what I mean? The whole game, you're watching Richie's movement off the ball. I felt, oh my God. When we're talking about Xavi, and he was struggling at the start, now I know it's not Xavi. It's not Xavi. Like when he turns, he did so many beautiful turns today. The one over his shoulder, he takes it down and he plays the right ball. That ball bounces 3 times before it goes out. How is Johnson not read that we're in play here? His run is so late, the ball goes out of play. Makes Xavi look bad. Wasn't Xavi. That was world class, that. Johnson's the problem there. When he turns and he's running at the play, at one point at the start of the game, Richarlison's running in the exact same lane Xavi's running in. It's like, mate, you have to run off the ball. You have to pull defenders away and make lanes for your attackers. And I feel so bad for McCoist was saying it a lot. You could hear he was getting frustrated. He's like, he's got nothing. He does a brilliant little turn, gets in, and he's got nobody running. And he would have had Kolo Muani. But Muani's he was put on the right, he was put on the left. Like, it was just a complete. I just don't understand how Muani shows so much on the Copenhagen game, and then he messes his head and says, "Okay, now you come off this side, you come off that side."
Yeah.
Richarlison shows nothing. Now you go straight into the center. Those are the things for me that are just like, I just don't understand, because you're just not taking advantage of momentum.
100%.
So the team sheet for me was just so frustrating. That first half, the amount of players that are going backwards. Oh my God, it's just. Did you guys see when Xavi went off at Palhinha? Because he was saying he's like he needs Palhinha to be in the 2 of the 3-2. Palhinha has to be on a 45 centrally, and he's saying that's the route to him and then to me. And he was going here, and he was telling him, go there. And then Palhinha ran there, but he ran too far. And he was like, no, don't there. And he was shouting at him. And Palhinha's like, oh, sorry, mate, sorry. And it's like, and his face on Xavi's face is like, what am I dealing with, man? Like, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that was the thing. You didn't have players playing the ball to a player who showed and is starting to show consistently now that he is the creative charge. They don't have the roots to play. I thought that's just so frustrating for me today. If I was Xavi, I'd be kicking things around in that dressing room.
Yeah, I completely agree. The team did him such a disservice today, Xavi Simons, and why I just don't get why Richarlison started the game. And if he's going to start the game, why not take him off at half-time instead of Kolo Muani?
I think that was for the head. I think Kolo Muani was because of that head knock he took from Maguire. That may be why I put him on the left as well, or right, to keep him not so focal. But
he's just such a frustrating footballer to watch, Richarlison, man. You're just like, if I had hair, I wouldn't have any hair by the end of the game. Like, I swear, I just want to rage.
McCoist was so accurate with that header that he missed.
Yeah.
Because there was genuinely no reason to not even get anything on the ball. Mm-hmm. He completely missed it entirely. Like midweek, at least Muani missed a sitter with the head. But at least he got something on it. It was the defender wasn't really in front of blocking his range. It was just so bizarre that he just missed the ball completely. And I'm telling you this: watch the goal he does score. That ball's going in. that the spin that
100%,
Odegaard puts
yeah,
on,
yeah.
that is going in the bottom corner. His flick, if anything, lifted it. It didn't take it off path. So the ball was going in. So it's kind of
Imagine
like...
he fucked that up, Brace. Can you imagine? Oh my
yeah,
God.
if it flicked it to go out, that would have been like, oh my God, this guy is like trying to get us to lose. Yeah, that was just... I just felt like just unnecessary kind of poor performances that really hampered us. You know, like if you're Xavi, everywhere you turn, sometimes it's just players who aren't on your level, don't understand the touch you're going to take. I mean, I'm happy because with certain players coming back in, and when players come back, it would cook. It would really cook because he has a flair player and he has a bit of a, you know, like you kind of do need muscle behind him. So it's like, but then when players come in and can play off him and do one-touch football, he'll be brilliant. It's just right now, it's just so, it's so flat, and it's especially flat if you don't have someone who can like tick the ball over. Like Bentancur against Copenhagen was so good. He run the game, especially if you tell Bentancur and you get him playing on that 45 off the other defensive midfielder. If you tell Bentancur, play forward, play forward, play forward, he will play forward, and he's very progressive. You know, it's just, so that's why we can blame, you know, Paulinho for not being progressive. Guy's got 4 goals. Like, what are we talking? You know, like we can blame certain players, but if the manager isn't saying, what I would do, genuinely, I'd be like, nobody passes back, just for a whole game. I don't care. No, here's the rule: do not pass back, and that would just drive them to be more like.
We had Ange. Ange did that week in, week out.
Yeah, it's like I don't mind if they're getting pressured, but at one point you heard the crowd boo because Sarr takes the ball down, nobody around him. We've got most of our players in the half, and he passes it back, and the crowd booed. It's like we can all see what's going on here. It's like, get the ball down and go. Like, why do you want to let the defenders off? Like, let them relax and get into shape. Like, go, you know? That stuff for me is, I thought Sarr was poor. And again, I blame the fact that the start of the season, coming into the season, Sarr was on fire. He was playing great. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, he just went missing. And now he's
he had a little injury. That's what it was.
He did have a little injury, but he just looks like a different player now.
Yeah.
I thought some of the changes that Frank made, I thought they were good, but one, I don't think Xavi comes off. I don't think he comes off at that point because he's so creative. I think Bentancur had to come on. I think at halftime, Richie should have gone and Moani should have stayed. You know, I just think, for me, I couldn't understand what Alex was pretty good, but the one before was saying about Odegaard, because to me, I'm seeing so many improvements from Odegaard, regardless of it's just his intention. Get ball, go. Head up. It doesn't matter who the player in front of him is. You can see his intention is go, go, go. And that's like today, he just ran it every single time. And it wasn't just one man that he bet other players as well. His intention was so sharp. Even when he picked it up in the centre, bang, beat his man like that. He just beat his man and went. I just think it's cruel if you try to even suggest that, like, you know, Donnelly or Yang Min could have played like that. You know,
100%.
I think Odegaard is experiencing like a growth, and I think I think they're showing growth. I think this is what we want. You know, we want them to just get a run of games and start playing. And I don't think as fans we should be going, these players aren't good. You know, it's like, look, Tell didn't show it initially. But now he's showing it. You got to back him. Now he's got to get in. He's got to be the guy who plays if Moani isn't fit. You know,
and we've all been asking for this kind of development in our forward players from Thomas Frank, and we're genuinely starting to see it now. And Kudus will be back after the international break. And imagine having Kudus on the right with his threat, with Odegaard with the threat he's showing, Xavi in the middle. Those players are going to move a lot better for him as well. Like I think things are starting to look pretty good, to be honest. And I know we didn't get the win today, but looking forward to that Arsenal game. What's the lineup you go for? Because in my opinion, I think you go for Spence at right back and a Doggy at left back.
100%. Throw me on up top. Put me in, coach. No, I agree 100%. I'd go Odo on the left, Kudus on the right, Colo through the centre, Xavi behind him, Bentancur, Palhinha for like stability. But with Palhinha, with Bentancur being the 8 who progresses the ball, and then you Doggy and Spence either side of them, and hopefully, what did you say about Romero? Did you say that he was okay?
He's fine.
Or?
He's fine. He's fine.
Well, then VDV and Romero, and then I think we've got. Especially if he goes in with the mind state from the start, go at them. Like, front foot, go. Don't sit, like, because if you sit and wait 20 minutes, today you could see it was coming. They were going to get the goal. You just knew it because we didn't have any intention to put them on the back feet. They're going to get a little bit better, but they are also, like, they have a wounded animal mentality a lot of the time as well. As soon as you run at them, they start to be like, oh, God, you know? So we lost an opportunity in that today, you know?
Yeah. 100%. I was saying that before the game. I was saying that during the game. If you put Man United under pressure, they will crack. They've got all these brilliant forward players, which, for all intensive purposes, I thought we dealt with the majority of them really well. So, in my opinion, I think we deserve the 3 points. Marginally, it was marginal, but I think we deserve the 3 points today.
But you know what it is? It's like, it's just, and this comes with time as well, it's just composure. Like, you get that goal, right? How many minutes was there? Once it was all said and done, and, you know, there was like 4 minutes max, right? Sarr, actually, one of the best things he did do, he had space, he ran back, he played the ball, Vicario's got no one on him, take the ball into the corner of the box, right? Kill all the time you can, and then play a pass or boot it long. He boots it first time, gives it straight to them, ball turn over. A few seconds later, Bentancur has a chance to just move with the ball, hold the ball. He just hoofs it, gives the ball back to them, they get a corner. And then we lose the goal from that. It's like, man, even on the corner, someone go to ground. Buy time, shithousery, buy time to organise yourselves. Even if you are zonal, this is why like Danzo's in one centre and Mickey's in one centre, because they go zonal, because obviously for height reasons. I say break the ranks and just put Mickey on the biggest guy, Danzo on the other big header target, and whatever you do, don't have Brennan Johnson marking a target. Because Brennan Johnson in the last kind of 10 minutes, there was moments where he just stopped running. He just didn't really want it at all. He was obviously gassed out. He's the guy that is going to mark their target man in the box. For me, that's just like, so yeah, obviously, you know, not great for Vicario, but why is he, just track him in little pushes. You don't have to, just don't allow him to get a free header in the 96th minute, you absolute fool. Oh, that for me is just, how have we not seen that out, man? Whatever you do, you'd put your hands on, and you'd rather get a push against you than lose that goal, you know?
But all in all, do you think we are going in the right direction? Because there's a lot of negativity in the fan base right now, talking about, oh, we don't like Frank Ball, we don't like this, we don't like that. But do you think genuinely Spurs are going in the right direction?
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, as much as one minute I'm like, look, guys, give Frank some time. We go like 1-0 down. I'm like, Frank out, get him out. But like, and you have to put perspective on it. They have one game a week. They have a stellar attack. They've got a great attack. They're still making that work. And when that fully clicks, that's going to be a dangerous attack. We have 11 injuries, and some of those players are our best players. Like, you got to put a little bit of perspective. We were 1 minute from going second.
Yeah. Do
you know what I mean? Like, I get that it's a sticky thing. It's up and it's down, but I think we do have to put a bit of perspective on it. You got to give him time. Frank will learn that today's team sheet picking at the start. He will learn that was wrong. He will see that, okay, don't overplay Porro, like he's starting to get leggy. He'll learn this stuff, but he needs the time to learn that stuff. I can tell you, since the Chelsea game, the improvements that I am seeing off of just angles and like the willing of certain players to actually play and create chances, you can't say that you're not seeing progression there. It's just, we need the right team picked. We need the right players. And we need them to do it every game and get into a rhythm of doing it. And then when you get your good players back, you could really see it cook. So I think there are positives. tell improvement, Odegaard improvement for me. To take that away from the game today is huge. You know,
I agree with that. I agree.
Same.
Brains, always a pleasure to speak to you, my friend.
See you later, Brains.
nice one. Enjoy time with my bitch boy daddy coming up next.
Speak to you later, Brains. Just a quick update.
See you later, Brains.
West Ham have scored
For God's sake.
77th minute. Thomas Souček getting the goal. But shall
We've been to the Northern Lights, and now we're going to...
Yeah, exactly. Now we're going to the Bahamas. Let's get on Brains' bitch boy, apparently. Danny Kyriakou.
It's the other way around. I think I think he's hit his head a bit. So maybe it was the shock of the result. Maybe that's probably why.
How you doing, Danny?
I'm alright, boys. I mean, as you can see, I'm in a sunny Caribbean, so I can't complain, mate. Can't complain.
Working on your suntan, I see.
Yeah, exactly, mate. I need it. I definitely need it. Look a bit ill at the moment. But how are you, boys?
All good,
Today?
brother.
Yeah,
good.
not bad. Look, talk to me about your thoughts on the game, because I'm just seeing so many different kind of reactions from this game. Like, a lot of people are like kind of overly negative about it, saying we were shit, we didn't deserve anything from the game, we deserved to lose. Some saying, you know, a draw's a fair reflection of the game, and I thought we probably edged the game. Like, where are you at with it?
You mean Spurs fans disagreeing and meltdowns again? Same old.
That's a first. I've never heard.
Exactly, Danny.
No, look. I think today, on the balance of play, I think we probably played a little bit better than them, but I don't think it was too much of a difference for it to be. I think if we had won, I think it would have been a bit of a snatch and grab, if I'm honest, right? Even though I think we had the better of the second half by a little bit. They had the better of the first half, I think, by a little bit, because I think we started quite well. But I think Brains was right. Like, you could see a goal coming from Man United. They were putting the pressure on in the first half. And look, overall, I think it's a fair result, but I think it feels worse for Spurs fans because we were literally on the verge of going second and winning and having another win against United and winning at home again since the opening day of the Premier League season. So I think that's the bittersweet part of it. The kind of the bitter pill to take is not getting the 3 points in that position when we should have really seen the game out. And I mean, with that whole last sequence of the game, you saw quite a few players lose the ball. Bentancur gave the ball away, and it's like this is the time when you've got to just keep the ball and not try and get the ball up the pitch to try and go for an attack again. This is the time where you should be every man behind the ball. Just close the game out. Just don't give them a corner. Don't give them anything. And we didn't do that. And I think that's the hard thing for Spurs fans to accept. In terms what my gripe with for this game today was, I think it was the team selection, and I think Frank made mistakes. Now he kind of redeemed himself with the substitutions because I know before those substitutions came on and made an impact, I was going a bit not crazy, but I was like, this is a bit of a joke. Like, I think a lot of Spurs fans in group chats that I saw, they were all saying the same thing, right? A lot of them were saying, oh, he started with the wrong team, this kind of stuff, but the subs made the change, right? Having said that, I still feel the starting team was still a little bit too defensive for my liking. I didn't understand Richarlison playing on the left. I don't understand it one bit. I felt that after beating Copenhagen, yes, it's Copenhagen, right? After beating them in the Champions League the way we did, for me, I would have started the same team that started, right? I would have gone with a Dogi left back. I would have gone with right back with Porro, and Van de Ven Romero. I would have gone with Bentancur and Sarr, Odegaard, Xavi, Johnson, and Muani. For me, I saw some patterns of play that I liked when I saw them play against those teams. I saw Xavi kind of in that free role where he was kind of coming deep a little bit. And even, do you know what? Even today, I think I liked what I saw with Xavi. I think you're starting to get, as he's playing more and more, he started to get more accustomed to it. He was barging players off the ball again. He likes to get stuck in, which I like to see, right? But he was actually barging players off the ball. He was it was always trying to be progressive, trying to play quick, always trying to like be on the front foot, right? But what I didn't like, and it was so evident in the second half, which was the biggest. I think Brains mentioned it, where Richarlison was making the same runs as Xavi was making. It's like, well, come on, man! Like you got to give the guy something so he can give you the ball, right? But if you're not giving him anything, how is he going to give you the ball that's going to be effective, right? On the balance of play. And it's like the one moment that summed it up for me was when in the second half, when Xavi got the ball and we were on an attack, it was on a counter, right? Xavi slowed right down and the crowd, you could hear it on the TV, right? The crowd were just like going mad because no one was around him and he couldn't do anything. He literally couldn't do anything. So I can't remember if he went back or not, but he kind of stood there and he was like, well, what am I supposed to do? And it's like, and the crowd were going crazy. And then the fact that obviously the crowd kind of, you could see the crowd's reaction when Xavi got taken off. Because like, at that time, he was really the only player who wanted to get on the ball and who was trying to be the attacking outlet. So it was a bit frustrating that. I just think that Frank, kind of touching on what Brains was saying, I think Frank was when you've got a moment, right, where the team's just performed like they did in the Champions League, the confidence is there, the energy is there, the momentum's a little bit there, just go with the same team. And the fact that he didn't was more telling for me, because when we've got an international break now, so you're not having to play a Premier League game now for what, 1 or 2 weeks now, so why not just start the same team? It doesn't make any sense. So that
especially
was
especially when you've got a player in such a great moment like Wilson Odebear right now.
Well,
like, he's literally getting better and better every game.
You can see the improvements, and I think what it is you see in Odebear is the confidence. Is you're starting to see him get a bit more confident as the game. He's kind of getting into it. He's kind of feeling his position. He's getting used to being on the ball a bit more. He's taking on his man a little bit more. He's putting crosses into the box. And we can all see it, right? The relationship between him and Udogie is definitely the best partnership on that left-hand side. For me, I think also Porro had a shocker today. I think the last couple of Premier League games, he hasn't really been at it. And I think the next Premier League game, I'd like to see... I know he probably won't because it's Arsenal, but I would like to see Spence on the right, because when Spence did move to the right, he looked far more attacking and far more threatening than Porro did in the game, right, for me. And we all know Spence is a better defensive fullback than anyone else in our squad, but it just hinders our left hand side when Kudus isn't playing on the right, and you've got so for example Richarlison playing today. It was non-existent. Like our wing play, Brennan did all right for the first like 10, 15, 20 minutes, but other than that, it wasn't. It just was Brennan Johnson again, right? And we had nothing on the wings, absolutely nothing. And I think it's so evident the way that Frank wants to play. He does utilize his wingers, and when you don't have an Odebear, who, look, he's not the quality we need right now, but he's the best of what we've got on that left hand side for the time being, right? And the fact that he is slowly, you can see improvements in his game. You've got to just keep playing him. And I know Frank might want to rotate and stuff like that, but unfortunately he is the best of what we have right now. And until January, we don't have a better left winger. And for me, it's a shame, because I really thought, again, today, I don't know if I'm being honest, but I'm just not sure if Paulinho was needed today, if I'm being brutally honest. Like, I know he's an amazing midfielder. I just think still there's an element of caution when Frank is playing at home. And it's like that it's kind of like he's putting the chains on the players a little bit by the selections, because if you go full out attack, you go Xavi Simons, Odebear, Muani, you put Johnson on, you put maybe Bentancur and Sarr in the middle instead, like we did against Copenhagen, right? And Udogie and you could keep Porro on the right, but you go a lot more attacking, because that way I think you see the best football that we have, because you've got the most technically gifted players playing together, right? They trust each other a bit more. You can see the dynamic a little bit more between Odebear, Xavi, and Muani when they're playing. There's a lot more like tiki-taka kind of football, right? I'm not saying it's like Pep Guardiola style, but I'm saying you can see a better quality of football because there's a better understanding between those players, and they're also more technically gifted, so they have a better footballing brain in terms of they make the runs or another player can pass the ball. You could see it, right? But it's just frustrating when Frank goes into this game and then all of a sudden puts Richarlison on the left. It makes no sense whatsoever. For me, Richarlison, that goal was, look, it was. I don't think it. I think it was. He touched it on. It went in. But other than that, he was just diabolical today. He was awful, and I can't believe that Muani came off and Richarlison stayed on the pitch. I just did not understand that one bit. And I think Frank shot himself in the foot by the initial team selection. And I honestly believe if he had started with a far more attacking team, I think it could have been a different result, because I think United were there for the taking today. They weren't that great, but I know we weren't either, but they weren't. They were there to be beaten, and I think it's points dropped more than points sort of gained today in that sense.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt about it. And I think look, next game is going to be very difficult. It's Arsenal at the Emirates. We know how that's going to go down, most likely. But at the same time, look.
What are you saying? We all know we're going to win.
Yeah, right. You think we're going to beat Arsenal? If we go to Emirates and beat Arsenal, I think all is forgiven with Frank, and I think every Spurs fan is going to be like Frank. They're going to be Frank's biggest supporter. But look, I think overall, I'm still quite sort of cautiously confident with Frank, because I still think that I want to see what he can do with a better quality of player with the team that he has, because right now what I'm seeing is good, right? Considering, and I think this is the biggest thing that people seem to forget, is that last season we did finish 17th, and a lot of those players who finished 17th are still there, regardless of the Europa League win, right? The fundamental bread and butter of our football was diabolical last season. It was atrocious, and a lot of those players are still there. So when you haven't changed the dressing room enough, right? There's still that kind of nervousness you see at home, and it's like there's not that, like they look like they're not unleashed to go and play their football, because they feel a bit nervous that if they lose, that it's worse than going to try and win, right? So you can kind of still feel it, and I think the players feel it as well. So until I think we get a few more first team players in and a lot more quality, I think that's when we can judge Frank. And I think people judging Frank, I understand it, but at the same time, there's got to be an element of he needs time, because you can't work miracles. I mean, look, if we're going to talk about time, look at Arteta, how long it's taken him to get to this level with Arsenal, right? It's taken him over £1 billion spent and what, 6-7 seasons nearly now. So it's going to take
still
time.
One fuck all.
Yep.
Yeah, it's still one fuck all. But the fact is, this season now, if they don't win, it's a joke, to be honest. Like, I think it's the funniest thing, the funniest failure I've ever seen from any football manager, because I mean, you've got Arsenal probably got the strongest squad in the league. You've got 2 quality players in each position, so they can deal with injuries. Whereas the fact that we still where we are right now, considering that we have got injuries, we've still got a lot of the front line that was there from last season. Yeah, I think. Look, I think it's still exciting times for us ahead, and also it's new territory with the new sort of ownership, structure. Let's call it, right? Because we don't know exactly what they're going to do yet. They could go and spend 50, 60, 70, 80 million on a top class player, but then even then the player could turn out to be a dud, like we've had it before. So we have to wait and see. We need to give it a couple of windows with Frank. So January, the summer, maybe another three to 4 windows, and then you can really kind of judge it. After 2 years or a year and a half, you can kind of see what he's doing. But you can see gradual improvements, because you can see there are certain moments where we are playing good football. There's certain moments where we're a lot more solid. There are certain moments where we still see the old kind of Tottenham from the Ange era, where it's a bit like shaky at the back. They're a bit all over the place, like we saw in the first goal today. all over the place. So look, it's not all doom and gloom, because I think any single fan would have said to you at the beginning of the season, like, I don't think that many people expected us to probably be where we are right now. I certainly didn't. And also we haven't lost in the Champions League yet either, which is another good thing. And I think we're third? Are we third?
At the moment, that might have changed.
No, we're third. Yeah,
We're still
We're
third.
third in the league or third?
third in the
Third
league.
in the league.
Third in the league.
Well,
but we're also...
Daddy, we're in the lowly position of third at the moment.
But
It's
we've
terrible.
played the most games in the top half. Everyone else has played 10 games.
Yeah.
Where could we end up if the results?
I don't know, because a lot of people are playing each other. Put it this way, we're on 18 points.
Yeah.
And United are in 7th, also on 18 points.
Yeah, and that's the craziness of the Premier League. I think this season there's so much more competition. It's so much more closeness between the teams, and all it takes is one game. You're like one loss, and you're halfway down the table again.
Yeah,
so,
it's early days.
Exactly. It's still. We're not even halfway through the state. We're not even quarter of a way through. Just gonna hit that sort of point soon. So,
put it this way, Danny, you have a Kudus and a Kulusevski in that game, we win.
It's hard to say, but
we win.
It's a different. Look, we can't say we win because we don't know, but at the same time, it's a different problem that they would have to deal with that maybe could have been more effective for us in terms of trying to win the game. I think, look, the fact that he's doing what he's doing with what he's got, to me, is still quite remarkable. I think it's like if you give Thomas Frank a full fit squad, even with what we got right now, imagine if you had like Maddison on the bench, Kulusevski on the bench, you've got Solanke on the bench, right? Then you've got a whole complete different dynamic and the quality you can bring on. So the fact that we've got a lot of top, like really good players still missing, and he's achieving what he's achieving, to me it tells me that you give him a better level of player up front, like he had at Brentford, right? Like he had like he had at Brentford, then I think he'll affect it even more. And I think we've already got a really good back line. I think the only thing I'd add to the back line is I'm with Brian and a few others on this. I think Anthony Robinson, I think you go and buy him and your fullbacks are sorted. Sorted. I think you have the two rotating with Jed Spence and Porro, and you actually have to rotate them because certain games I think Jed Spence is far more effective than Porro is. And then you have a lot better outlets for both left-footed fullbacks. I think we need someone. And if you look at the actual stats of Robinson compared to Udogie even, it's actually insane. Robinson outclasses him in nearly everything, other than I think dual take-ons or something like that.
Yeah, Danny, what I will say with that is obviously Anthony Robinson has played a lot more minutes, so that's what excuse you a bit. But what I will say, Danny, is I said to Ben yesterday, and I was speaking to Simeon as well, right here, right now, I think the key part of our team, just for what he does for the whole team, is Destiny. Having that left footer, I'm not saying he's the key player and he makes everything happen, but the balance and the change in the the football team, when he comes on and we can just go forward and not have Spence checking in and slowing the game down. I think Destiny Udogie, when he plays, Tottenham play a completely different brand of football as soon as he's on the football pitch.
Yeah, it's far more attacking, which is why I think I'd be surprised if Frank couldn't see what we're all talking about, because I think from what I've seen of Frank, he's quite he usually does kind of say what we feel, right, as fans, and how he sees it. He kind of sees it the same way a lot of the times. I feel like that. So I'd be surprised if he can't see that we are lacking a left wing back, another left wing back who's left-footed, because we definitely need a right. We need Spence on the right, because I actually thought Spence was better as a defensive left back, but now this season he started. I think Spence as a left inverted fullback, right, is good. I think when he was playing in Angie's inverted fullback system, he was really good attacking as well, and I think we all saw how good he was. But when he's playing that kind of overlap type fullback role, right, he's awful, because going forward, all Spence does is go back. Whenever he gets forward,
Yep.
he just turns back every single time, and it completely hinders our attack, because then it means if the left winger is not there, right, to do the overlap on Spence, then we just go backwards every single time, and we lose that attacking impotence on that left hand side. And like you said, Brian, when we do have Udogie and Odebear right now, they're dynamic together. That Frank talks about relationships. I think they've got the best relationship so far. I think Kudus and Porro
By
have
far.
a good relationship.
By
Yeah,
far.
by far, right? I think Kudus and Porro have a good relationship, but I actually think maybe even Spence might have an even better relationship with him. So I think we definitely need another left-sided wing back. I think for me, you go and get Robinson. I think the way we play right now, I think it's very crucial we go and get a left-sided wing back.
Yep.
To be honest, just given by what I've seen with the way Frank likes to play his teams and how he wants to set up, I think it's really crucial to his style of football and how his idea of what he wants Tottenham to be. I think we're crying out for a striker because Richarlison, I've said it so many times, I never wanted him in the first place, but the biggest thing for me was that I just cannot stand him. I think I can't wait for the day that he leaves this football club. I think he's a great personality, right? But that's about it with Richarlison. I think he's not a footballer. How he's a Brazilian, I don't know, right? I mean, the guy literally.
I'll tell you how, because that's where he was born.
Oh, mate, I don't think he's Brazilian. I think he's a fake Brazilian, honestly. I think he's Brazilian. I don't know how he's Brazilian, but he's definitely by blood, he's not Brazilian. I mean, the guy can't hit a barn door if he tried. And then the thing with Richarlison is he's one of those players that he could produce a moment of magic, but it's very, very rare. A bit like Lamella, where Lamella would produce a moment of magic. You're like, how's he done that? But then most of the time he can't score to hit a barn door to save his life, right? So look, we all know striker is the most important right now. Maybe another. I think our midfielders, I think we've got too many of the same. I think like Sarr kind of does something, Bentancur does something, but none of them do what we really need them to do, which is progress the ball. And I think you need players. You can see that I feel sorry for Kudus and Xavi because they haven't really played too much together, right? But you can see when they have played and they're not together or they're on opposite sides, Kudus looks a lot of the time so frustrated by the players making the runs, the players around him. It's like they just leave him to do everything on his own, which is why he's probably got injured, because he's so kind of overutilized, right? And the Spurs players, like there was a moment in the game today where I saw it, right, and I was like, that you could hear the fans going crazy. Like the players were just standing there, and it's like you're moving the ball forward, but no one's making any runs. Porro at one point was just standing there, and I'm like, are you not going to make a run, mate? Like there's no one ahead of you. Like Johnson is nowhere to be seen on that right hand side, and you're just standing there. And I think Xavi had the ball at one point, and it's like, well, go on then, mate, make a run, and no one's making the run. And I think it's so frustrating for the higher level quality players that we have in the squad, because you could see when you've got Muani, Kudus playing, and Xavi and Odegaard on the left, I think you'll see a far better dynamic attacking Tottenham team than you would with what we're currently being shown, in my opinion. And I think the sooner that Frank drops Richarlison, the better, because I think he is just fucking awful. Like he every time I see Richarlison play, he just completely hinders the way we want to play football. His hold up play is crap, his touch is crap, his finishing is crap, everything. He's just awful, right? The only thing that Geezer does is run around like a headless pigeon. That's literally what he does. He's the headless pigeon. That's how he gets the pigeon dance, because he runs around like a pigeon. He moves like a pigeon but can't do anything else. Like it's terrible. So look, but overall, I don't think fans should be getting too emotional, too upset. I'm wondering. I'm looking forward to hearing what Mr. Telios, Tel's biggest supporter, is going to say. But also, just one thing on Tel, right? I think with Tel, I'm also with Gavin on this, which is not usually I agree with him a lot. But I think when you've got a player who's kind of like in a moment, like they're building a bit of confidence, like your Tells, like your Odebears. You've got to kind of keep giving them the opportunity, because that's how they build. That's how they build momentum. That's how they learn more about themselves. That's how they get more confident. And with Richarlison, all I'm seeing is he's playing crap. He's playing crap. He's playing crap, but he keeps playing. He keeps playing him. He keeps playing him. Forget Richarlison. Give Dane Scarlett a chance. I'd rather give him a chance than I would bloody Richarlison. Richarlison's offering absolute nothing.
I said that. Yeah.
Or even Tell, like, maybe look, Odebear has to be given time. Like, I think you go and bring in another top left winger, right? And you have them two as your left-sided players. I'd be more than happy with that. Honestly, I think Odebear is
Got
a
Mikey
player
Moore coming back in the summer, Danny.
Mikey Moore's not ready, Ben. He needs another year or two. For me, he needs another 2 years, right? So this season and next season at a higher level. He's got to play like in the Premier League, or he's got to play a higher level of football and show it before I want to see, because the Scottish League is Scottish League. No disrespect to it, it's not at the level of the Premier League, nowhere near it. So
it's true,
I want
but he did very well against Roma the other night.
Yeah, he did, but I want to see him do that on a consistent basis at a high level. And
I
also,
agree.
I heard the conversation that you guys are talking about Vuskovic before I go. Vuskovic, I don't want him back next season. I want him to go again in the Bundesliga, or maybe the Spanish league or the Italian league or something like that. Go and play another season, do the same thing again, then come back. Because I want him to have that kind of Saliba effect that Saliba had at Arsenal, where he played 2 or 3 seasons away, first team football, week in, week out, building his kind of style that he wants to build as a player and the kind of player he wants to be. Because I don't think that it's fair to bring him in if he's not going to be playing week in, week out. I think you give him 2 years away from the club, right? Because I think the good thing with Vuskovic is that I think he sees that as well. He sees that I believe when Vuskovic feels he's ready to compete with Romero and Van der Ven, he will say it. I don't think he will say that he wants to go on loan if he doesn't feel that he's ready, because the fact that he said that he's nowhere near the level of Van der Ven and Romero goes to show that the level in his head and where he sees himself as, that he's nowhere near ready to compete with them guys. So when he's ready, I know that he will say to the club, look, I don't want to be loaned out. I want to fight for my position. And I think so we have to wait and see on that one. But I think this season, next season, then we'll see. But we've got some good young talent in there, but they need to be blossomed a bit more. And the one person I'd like to see given the chance is Dame Scarlett, because I actually think there's a player in Dame Scarlett. I really do. I honestly believe there is a player in there. The fact that what he's been through to get to where he has, and he's shown he just consistently is trying to. He's consistently got his head in the right direction. Like, he's not throwing his dummies out the pram. He's kind of staying grounded with it. He knows it's a hard route to get into the Premier League and into the first team. But when you get your chances like he did the other night, you've got to take them, and he did. And it's such a shame that Richarlison took the ball off him for that penalty, because that would have been a great little cameo to come on and get a goal in the Champions League. And then of course the pigeon took it, and of course the pigeon missed it, because that's what he does best. But anyway,
Big up, Danny.
Things look forward to, boys, and it's not all doom and gloom. And let's see what Mr. Cheterios has to say.
See you later, Danny. Thanks for coming on.
See you later, guys. See you.
Big up to Danny. What is going on with Stell's cam?
Yes, look at Stell's cam. Is that his gear? There you go. Stel, put your camera out.
Stel, are you driving?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm driving. Sorry, guys. I've got you in the only place where it's safe to put the phone and for the battery not to die. So apologies about that, guys.
Look at the dedications coming on.
Look at that. If only you had that dedication to come on when we won.
Well, on Thursday, I had an infection and I was off of the air, even on my channel. My channel went live and I wasn't on that either. I couldn't. So no excuses being made. We didn't lose today, by the way. Right? We didn't lose. I'm on air. We haven't lost.
Stel, talk to me about your thoughts on the game, because I was seeing such different reactions from different fans online. What do you take away from that game today?
Well, first
Were
of
you
all,
at
can
the
I
game?
just say, yeah, I'm driving back from the game now.
Okay.
I just want to say, Mr. Danny the Bun, big mouth Danny the Bun, right? The line of the day: the Scottish League is the Scottish League. Cheers, Danny. Cheers, Danny. Just in case no one knew where the Scottish League was, it's in Scotland. Just in case. Big up, Danny. Big up, Danny. Yeah, look, today's game, I think it all depends what you expected. I think, for me, I predicted a draw. I said we would draw today. I said it would be 1-1. And the reason I said that is because we haven't been playing good. Spurs aren't playing good football. And I don't believe that we're playing the kind of football that's going to create enough chances and take enough risk to try and win games. I think we're set up not to lose. And because of that, I predicted a draw. And I think today Frank set us up not to lose, which is what he's been doing for most of the season. And my car's beeping. Hold on. And when you do that, you're nullifying certain players from being able to express the way they want to play. And that's what we saw today. We're set up not to lose, so we can't really expect us to put in brilliant performances when we do that. I also think a lot of fans, unfortunately, get carried away way too easily. Like when we beat Burnley 3-0, when we beat Copenhagen, oh, amazing. Look at the teams we're playing, guys. They're not good teams. The real test is when you play in the Premier League. Let's see what we do in the Premier League. And today we weren't bad, but we weren't good. We were average, and so were Man United. And I think a draw at the end of the day was fair.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about setting up not to lose. I mean, do you think that's why he put Richarlison out on the left wing, or he moved into the middle a bit as well? Was because I heard a caller came on before and said he put Richarlison on the left wing to counteract because he thought Ahmad was going to play. Arian said that Ahmad was going to play at left wing back to maybe try and stifle him instead of trying to exploit those spaces that they're going to leave him behind.
I think anyone with a brain cell doesn't play Richarlison ever. You've heard me say it a million times, guys. Richarlison shouldn't be at this football club. He's awful. You don't play a player just to stifle someone. You play a player because they can play football. They can link up the play. They've got footballing intelligence. They can make a decent pass. They can get a good shot away, a good cross. He's on the floor. He's rolling around. He's moaning at the ref. He's stumbling on the ball. He's missing headers from 6 yards out. Again, he did the exact same thing away at Newcastle. The exact same thing. He's free, 6 yards out, can't score. No, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. For me, look, I don't understand why Odegaard doesn't start for Tottenham Hotspur. Okay, I've been saying this for 6 weeks on the Spurs 5, and I'll repeat it on your channel. I think I've said it to you guys before. We don't have a good left winger at the club like Mohamed Kudus. There is no one at this club that is at the level of Mohamed Kudus on the left. Nobody. So you've got to pick Richarlison, Odegaard, Tell, Johnson, whoever you want to pick one player and just stick with them for 8-9 games, just to get some continuity, just to build some relationships on the pitch, so the manager can coach. How can you coach a player if you're not able to see what they do in a game, then work with them on the training ground, and then say, right, go again in the match. Go again in the match, because the whole point of training is to implement it in a match. But if you're not playing in the match, what was the point of training? You're not being developed. And Odegaard, he'll have a good game. Maybe he starts the next game, maybe not. He'll have a bad game. He's dropped for 2 games. I honestly think Odegaard should just start for Tottenham, play for 8, 9, 10 games, and let Frank coach him. You're a coach, Frank. Coach the player. But instead, we keep chopping and changing, and we end up having problems on the left flank. And again, you saw it again today. But again, like, it goes back to I look. You see today, Xavi Simmons, the amount of times he got on the
Stel,
ball,
you're breaking up.
he's
You're
driving
breaking up, Stel.
forward. He's got no options. He's got no runners,
Sounds
no
like a
overlapping
robot.
runners. But that's by design. As the internet gone,
Stel, you've gone like your normal house Wi-Fi. you've
oh
gone.
no, sorry.
You've gone dialect.
And he's going in slow motion. I don't think it's going to work. No, I think
Yeah,
we're going
he's
to have
gone.
to. Well, anyway, we can pick this up on our brand new podcast that's going to be launching this week.
Oh, you're going to announce it now? Well, I didn't know you were going to announce it. Is it launching this week?
I think so. Yeah. Is
Oh,
it
then
not?
good. Mate, I'm jumping to your command.
We don't have a name for it yet. We don't have a time or a date for it yet.
No,
But it will be launching at some point this week.
Have we got more guests, or is it headset off?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, so let's say, oh,
I think
headset.
that's it. But yeah, we are launching a brand new podcast. We're going to bring to you every single week with myself, himself, Stelios, and Sim.
There you go.
So very much looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to my loan this week.
Yeah, Sim. Brian's going to be in with me all week as Sim is out of action for the week. But yeah, I think we're going to bring an end to the stream though. We've been going for 2 hours 46 minutes
Yeah.
fan show. It's been the long haul.
Mate, it was like that with Chelsea as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's always when me and you are in, it's just like non-stop with the. Anyway, me and Sim will be in the studio tomorrow to break down the game even further, and we'll see you there, people. But thank you very much for Mr. Brian Daigle
Always a
for
pleasure,
coming
brother.
in today.
Always a pleasure.
Everyone doing subscribe to Tottenham on Tour, and we'll see you all tomorrow, guys. Like, subscribe, and comment, and as always, come on, you Spurs.
Spurs.